The grandstand. We're almost set to start the big game here. Craig Parry to lead the first ruck here for South Adelaide, and he'll be rucking against, let's see, it's going to be Scholar. Up they go. No one getting a decisive tap out. The ball's on the ground. And the condition of the oval, not real bad considering all things. In towards centre half forward. Going to be grabbed here by McCabe. Gets the hand pass across. Good build up here. Across to Brad Symes. Lovely long kick right up in towards the teeth of goal. And there's a good mark. Very, very good mark. Matty Slade, or was it Marco Bello? His co-rover swings round, and this is what he should have got. It was a difficult shot, but I think he would normally do better than that. He's put it through for a minor score. First score of this game. We better set our watches here, John, because the time clock isn't working. Oh, David's got one here right beside us. Thanks for that, David. 37 seconds have gone in the opening quarter. The Crazy John scoreboard. Central District 1 behind, 1 point. They're going with the breeze. South Adelaide yet to score. John Simons.
It'll be Nagel to bring the ball back in for the Panthers now. Their first possession of the contest, and he's going to go towards the outer side of the ground. Coming over the top, it's a strong leap from Cowan for the Bulldogs. Plays on immediately to Healy, who's within range with that breeze. The shot for goal drifts across the angle of the goal face, and Daniel Shell outstretched his arms but unable to pull that one in for a chest mark, and has gone over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw in the early stages of the opening quarter here. The Crazy Johns match of the day at Noarlunga Oval sees the Panthers, the home team, taking on the Bulldogs. They're in the water bag trip, the long trip for them from Elizabeth out here today. In comes the ball now. Neither ruckman will quite get to the contest. Clark almost gets his hand to the ball at ground level. Bello, who will be busy today along with his co-rover in Slade. We expect the ball to be at ground level a fair bit today. Matthew Clark obviously lining up in Panther colours today. Not ideal conditions for a ruckman, but with Dean Brogan, as we mentioned earlier, going out to the power, should get a fair bit of game time, as Clark again can't get to that ball. The ball drops pretty sharply before reaching to him. Players diving in on top of the ball. The ball's almost thrown out in the direction of Forster Knight. He goes by hand to Hanby, who throws it on the boot defensively and clears it out of bounds before the central vice-captain Heath Hopwood can gather the ball, and it's about 65 metres from the Panthers goal, from the Bulldog goal, and they lead by 1 behind early in the first quarter.
Waiting now for the ball to be thrown in. Our special comments man, Brenton Honour, will make his debut as that special comments man with Life FM in a few moments. There's the throw-in. Big fella's getting up there. Getting the tap out was Matthew Clark. Came in from the side. Going to be taken away by Slade. Will be taken off him, though, by the South Adelaide player coming through there, Michael Davis. Umpire says it's all mine, though. On the half-back line here for South Adelaide. Centrals have done most of the attacking. They're going with the breeze. Brenton Honour, anything that you've noticed out of the ordinary at this stage?
Yeah, well, interestingly, Doug, Craig Parry actually started in the middle. And Matty Clark actually is playing as that loose man in defence, and actually obviously it was predetermined before the game went, because Clark went straight into the back half.
So the ball up now. The umpire throws it up this time. Umpire Richard Williams umpired his 300th game just a couple of weeks ago. Going to be taken this time by Slade. Got his foot to the ball. Not all that effective. In towards the half-forward line now. The action here with Smith for South Adelaide. He can't control it, and it's knocked across the line by Kane, officer of the Bulldogs. So it's out of bounds about 70 metres around from Central's goal. And a red-headed boundary umpire now to throw the ball in.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
Scholar and Clark. Clark battles his way to the front. Coming over the top, surprisingly enough, is little Nathan Steinburner. We'll give him the hit out there. Hanby at ground level, feeds the ball up to Fleming, but charges his way, barnstorms almost his way through the traffic, and in doing so was tackled illegally and high, and umpire Richard Williams pays that free to the former Richmond utility in Fleming. Decides to play on, steps around the man on the mark and goes by hand to Michael Hanby, who puts a nice-looking kick out in the direction of Parry out in front of him. It's a slippery ball, and as such, he was unable to clasp that one in his hands. The ball is handballed out to central skipper Daniel Healy, sends the Dogs inside 50, looking for and finding. It's a wonderful kick. Put it out beautifully out in front of Luke McCabe. Not used to seeing him in the number 8 Guernsey here for Centrals in his return from Hawthorn this year. Only played at the club as a junior, didn't play at league level before his AFL career, which was an excellent one with Hawthorn. But now Luke McCabe will line up from goal from about 40 metres out to the southern end of Noarlunga Oval with a stiff breeze behind his back. Distance shouldn't be any problem from there, just a question of accuracy, with the wind likely to move it from right to left. He's put it way out right, and it's gone out of bounds on the full, has it? No, it hasn't. Daniel Schell has put those telescopic arms up, has managed to take in the mark, played on, gone back in the direction of Steinburner. Fleming comes in and intercepts the mark, unable to mark offensively is Steinburner, and eventually Smith for the Panthers relieves the pressure, sends it back towards Healy. Slow to get rid of the ball, was well tackled. Umpire said play on as the ball comes out to Slade, pumps it inside 50. Here comes Gowans and Cohen. Neither player can mark. Shell at ground level, not involved in the contest. Storming through for South Adelaide and taking the ball and the tackle is Michael Davis. Sitting on top of Nels Force tonight. He's hot. He'd better get rid of the footy. Eventually he does. It comes out to Marco Bello. He can't get it clear by Booty. Gets a handball out in some direction. Storming through all of a sudden is Luke McCabe and has another shot on goal and puts it out exactly where it looked like going about 60 seconds ago, out of bounds on the full. Let's get an opening comment from former Glenelg coach Brenton Honor.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, Somo, because the umpires obviously have decided that they're going to let this go, which isn't probably going to help the footy today, because it's going to be a scrambly affair anyway.
As the kick comes in towards centre half forward, free kick here to Central's paid the advantage though, and Steinburner, he fires at the big ones, and I tell you what, that breeze is coming in from the north, but it's probably coming in from the northeast, and therefore it's blowing across toward the grandstand, and all players have been offline with every shot they've had, so Steinburner puts it through for a minor score. On the Crazy John scoreboard, Central District 2 behinds, 2 points. South Adelaide yet to score. 6 minutes have gone in the opening quarter. Let's try and go around the grounds now as the wind blows down here at Noarlunga. For National Wireless two-way radio, our man at Unley is Ben Pittman. Okay, no one there at this stage. We're having a few problems getting through there, so not to worry. We'll go to the other grounds very, very soon. We might even try another ground, Gab, first of all. Let's go first up to Alberton. Here's Daniel Beasy.
Yeah, Doug, down here at Alberton, it's Port Adelaide 1 goal 6, Glenelg get to score. Now let's go over to Peter Burns, see if he's at Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. It's coming up to the 6-minute mark. West Adelaide lead Norwood 7 points to 1 point to Norwood. Now it's back to Noarlunga.
And back here, we'll try and get that rectified down there at Unley. Maybe Gav give Ben a phone call, and we'll get things sorted out there. But Central District 2 behinds, 2 points. South Adelaide yet to score. We've played just on 7 minutes here of the opening quarter. Coming to you live from Noarlunga, the Crazy Johns match of the day. And tough conditions out there at the moment. What would be your instruction, Brenton Honor, if you were the coach of either of these teams?
Well, Daz, we just see James Gown there, Chris Gown, sorry, missed from about 20 metres out. Well, it's going to be really difficult for the players today, because it's just like this win is, you know, you would think the strength of it, it's, you know, we're worth 4 or 5 goals, but like it's gusty, it's cold, there's, you know, I think it would be 90% of the players are all in the southern end of the ground, so it's just going to be whatever side really maximise their opportunities, and probably at the end of the day, whatever side wants to win the most.
And I think the other thing, BH, is accuracy with goal shooting is going to be all important today. South Adelaide, the second most accurate side in the competition, kicked 10 goal 15 last week to lose the game. They need to kick accurately. The Bulldogs not doing that in the early stages of this quarter, having kicked 3 behinds with the use of this very, very one-sided breeze here at Noarlunga Oval today. The Panthers have moved the ball up to the centre wing position. In fact, that's as far up the ground as they've got it so far, and it's gone out of bounds over the boundary line on the grandstand side of the ground here at Noarlunga Oval. But it is an extremely strong breeze. It's worth at least 5 to 6 goals, plus the wet conditions. It's going to be almost extremely difficult, you would say, to score into it. One large kick from the opposition that goes a long way in the other direction, as the Bulldogs are doing just that now. McCabe sends it inside 50. Slade gets his hand to the ball. It was going over the top of his head just as he realised that. He almost pulled his hand away from it in case it was going to go through for a goal. It might have just been missing to the left side, but it was touched through by Matty Slade, and we'll credit that point to Luke McCabe, who kicked one out of bounds on the full earlier. And the scoreboard now, the Crazy John scoreboard, tells us that Centrals are 4 behinds and South Adelaide are yet to score, but the Bulldogs will have a chance to go forward again through Simon Arnott. Goes laterally looking for Steinburner, unable to take the mark. It was over his head. Burrows in again at ankle level now to try and pick up the ball, as does Marco Bello. Eventually it comes out to Chris Hall from the Panthers. Fleming did some hard work at ground level, but the umpire said he threw the ball basketball style, illegal in the game of Australian rules football, and Tyson Hay will take the relieving free for the Bulldogs. He'll look for Hopwood, who slips inside 50 and takes the mark. The number 45 has marked for the Bulldogs about 45 metres out from goal. Funnily enough, Brenton Honor on about a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, it'll be interesting just to have a look now. This is probably our first opportunity that we've been able to actually watch a player have a set shot, particularly to see what this wind's doing, because you would think at the left-hand post, if it's like a northeasterly, you would think that would be the line that he should take.
Let's see if Heath Hopwood is tuned in as he pops it out a bit too far left. There, back it comes, back it comes. I think he's done exactly as Brenton Honor has said, and therefore he's kicked the opening major of the game. Well done, Heath Hopwood. Well done to our special comments man, Brenton Honor there, as the Bulldogs kick their first through the half-back line player, Doug, in Heath Hopwood.
And I think we better name that the TJM Series four-wheel drive goal of the day. Could be the only one.
Could be the only one. At this stage it is, but well done to Heath Hopwood. Centrals move on to a 1-goal 4. That's 10. South Adelaide are yet to score, and as Doug mentioned, Heath Hopwood with a TJM Series four-wheel drive goal of the day nomination.
Let's go
Clever
around
use of the breeze.
Sorry, John,
That's
I'm butting
okay.
in. I'm just trying to keep warm, but let's go around the grounds again with Centrals leading by 10 points. And first up for National Wireless two-way radio, here's Ben Pittman.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's about 11 minutes in here at Noarlunga Oval, and Woodville West Torrens are leading Sturt by 5 points. The Eagles 2 straight 12 to Sturt 1 goal 1-7. Now we'll throw it down for Daniel Beasy at Alberton. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, down here at Alberton, it's Port Adelaide by 5 points. Port Adelaide 2 goals 0, 12 to Glenelg 1-1-7. Now let's go down to Richmond Oval for Peter Byrne.
Thanks, Daniel. It's coming up to 11-minute mark. Westies 1-2-8, lead Norwood 1 straight point. Now it's back to the boys at Noarlunga.
Thank you, fellas. And here we've got Central District 1-5-11 leading South Adelaide. Yet to score. We've played 11.5 minutes of the opening quarter. The time clock is... It looks as though it's working, though, because that's what it shows, but it's been that since about halfway through the last quarter of the reserves. South Adelaide coming out of defence. McGlone gets it across here to Clinton King, former Collingwood, Richmond and Sydney player. And his dad played for St Kilda. So the action back now with a free kick paid here to Michael Hanby. Michael Hanby now got the ball across half-back for South Adelaide, brings it out towards the grandstand wing. The athletic Tom Haitley stands about 6'4", moves beautifully, and it's good to see him get some senior football this year. Comes down towards the wing. It's not a bad kick into the breeze either, and quite effective because the ball's been knocked across the line and out of bounds. Tucky was the target. It landed in front of him, but he was able to keep the ball in front, and there will be a throw-in taking place. It's perhaps just on the attacking side of that centre wing for South Adelaide.
Yeah, and I still think, Doug, Tommy Haitley there had a lot of time and space in front of him, and kicking into that breeze, you want to use up as much of that yardage as you can, and probably could have carried it another 25 or 30 metres perhaps before kicking it and try and gain that valuable yardage. But in the end, he did honour a good lead from Brent Tucky, just unable to hit the target on that occasion.
Big fella's about to do battle once again. We've got Scholar here against his opponent in Clark, Matthew Clark of the Adelaide Crows, of course. Gets the tap out too. The ball's on the ground, a big pack of players. We'll see a fair bit of this today, given the conditions. An attempted kick off the ground by McCabe, who's been busy early in this game. He's kicked a point, he's missed one also. The action still on the ground there. Chrissy Hall's in there trying to get a hand pass out. Taken by McCabe, though, onto his left foot. He got about 40 metres with that. In comes Webb. He's manhandled, so say the South Adelaide supporters. Not paid by the umpire. Will be picked up by Daniel Shell. Went with a hand pass to Officer. Oh, there was Bennett. Put the arm up, and the umpire is penalising him for that one as he warded off the opposition, caught him a bit too high, and Cade Officer's got the free kick. Kicks it high in the air. This is going to be a tough one to mark, and it is too, and it's knocked across the line. We're going to find it hard to find a Mr. Cliff mark of the day today, though, given the conditions, and you can hear the wind blowing. It's raining. It's not bad weather for the farmers and probably for the firefighters too, one of whom is Brenton Honor, sitting here with us. How's it going, Brenton?
Yeah, it's going well. I'm enjoying the contest. It's going to be just a tight, dour struggle, isn't it?
Coming through now with the footy is Officer. He's tackled, though, unable to affect a possession of the ball. Eventually it's picked up by Marco Bello. He swings onto his left foot in the direction of Scotty Webb. Richard Cochran for Centrals knocks it forward, but only to the benefit of the South Adelaide 50-game defender in Jared Bennett, who kicks the ball in the direction of the boundary line. The wind holds it up. It doesn't get that far. It comes back to Daniel Shell, who's able to receive a handball and then kick a long point for the Bulldogs and open his account for today. Daniel Shell had a handball just a couple of moments ago and then a kick for goal, which is a behind. And the Bulldogs now have 2 goals in total, but it's comprised of 7 scoring shots. They are 1 goal 6, totaling 12 points, and South Adelaide are yet to score as Benny Nagel brings the ball into the outer side for the Panthers.
John, I was just thinking if our wives are listening, homemade vegetable soup would be nice tonight, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I've put an order in before leaving home, Doug, so I'm just... I'm hopeful.
We are hopeful as South Adelaide bring the ball out of defence, and again the ball just seemed to stop in mid-air. The mark is taken out there by... was that Steinberner? Drops the ball in short. A hand pass comes out here. It's Hopwood now going with a big, long hand pass. Fairly effective, though. Grabbing the ball there onto his left foot is Tyson Hay. And he has found a teammate down there too in one of the Gowans boys. It is James, number 28 it is. And he comes, drops the ball in short. That was good football. Umpire says it is a mark. It would have just gone 16 metres. I think it was just there. And so the mark has been paid 45 metres out from goal, which means today it's well within kicking distance. And Simon Arnott has got that, the experienced campaigner that he is, and a chance to bring up the second goal for Central District. He's a pretty reliable kick, Brenton.
Yeah, he's a good kick. He's a very good player, isn't he? Very experienced now, and performs in the big games. He probably last year he was their key because he likes to sit off those contests, and he's definitely their go-to.
Arnott puts it on the boot now. It's a pretty good-looking kick. The players are jogging out of the square to head back to the centre square, which generally indicates a goal, and the umpire confirms that Simon Arnott gets his first for the day and his 60th goal in SANFL football, and Central's open up a bit more of a lead now. They are on 2 goals, 6-18. South Adelaide are yet to score. And I guess, Brenton, the interesting thing is South Adelaide, though they haven't got the ball past the centre line yet, Coach Robert Pyman still persisting with a 6-man forward line, not pushing any numbers behind the play, but those forwards are yet to have a contest of any description.
Interesting, Simon, too. You would think, this whole quarter is going to be about being able to stifle Central's attacking options, so I really can't see the point of having that many players forward to the contest. Having
said that, they have an opportunity now as Matthew Smith wins a clearance, gets it towards the half-forward line where it's picked up by Tim Fleming. Weaves his way through some traffic, a handball to the magical Alwyn Davey, over to Michael Davis. His handball then is intercepted by Gowans, who gets the ball back in the direction of Mackenzie. He tackles Clinton King trying to go for the ball, keeping his head over the ball is McClone, but he can't pick up the footy, neither can Chris Hall. As sliding in to tackle him is Luke McCabe. It's like an ice skating rink out there. There's a Central District player down behind play. We'll keep an eye on that one as Hopwood, Sibanaila it is, taps the ball to the advantage there of Arnott. Sends Central's inside 50. Luke Cowan from behind, unable to take the mark. At ground level is Marco Bello and Scholar. Scholar gets the handball back to Shell. Around his body, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full though. Unable to affect any score there. The player down was Steinberner behind play. Has some history with a shoulder injury, but is able to get back up and mobile again. And it's not uncommon here, Doug. I think we've seen Clay Sampson wander around with a sore shoulder here from time to time as well, and soldier on and play important games of football here.
Hoping to hear from Clay at half-time too if he gets a moment. I know he's required by the club today. I noticed him nursing one of his little children earlier in the reserves game too, but he's the injured South captain. We'll go around the grounds again in just a moment, fellas, as South bring the ball out towards the half-back line. That was Nagel. Nice kick, but the breeze carried it across the line. It is very, very difficult conditions down here as Daniel Shell comes in now. He's 60 metres out from goal. He does a nice centering sort of a kick here. It's going to land in the hands of Arnott. No, the ball, it was a half volley. It was a good decision that time by the umpire. And the action now, 49 metres out from the goal. Richard Cochran swings it over his head, and a free kick to be played here to Big Paul Scholar. It went against Robert Forster Knight. And Big Paul Scholar's got the free kick, 25 metres out from goal, almost directly in front, and you really can't afford to give away free kicks that close to goal today. Brenton Honour.
No, you can't, Doug. It was pretty ticky-touch too, just quietly. Like you like to think of a day like today, you've got to work a little bit harder to get free kicks, particularly from within point-blank range where Big Scholar is now. But this is important because Centrals have squandered a lot of opportunities so far this quarter, and they want a better result than 3 or 4 goals at quarter time.
Scholar comes in and kicks for goal. I think he's put it through. Made the umpire work. It's a goal. Yes, the big fella has successfully drilled that one. Central District move along to 3 goals, 6-24. South Adelaide yet to score. 19 minutes of the opening quarter gone at Noarlunga. Let's get an AFL score and then we'll go around the other grounds. First of all, Gavin, how's it going?
Yes, thank you, Doug. It's MCG second quarter at the 17-minute mark. Melbourne 5 goals, 4-34 are trailing the West Coast Eagles 6-9-45. That's 11-point margin to the Eagles. Thanks, Doug.
Good on you, Gavin, and around the grounds locally now for National Wireless two-way radio. First up, Ben Pittman at Unley.
20 minutes into the first quarter here and scores are locked together. The Sturt and Eagles are both on 2 goals, 1-13, about 21 minutes in. Now it's right down to Daniel Beatty at Alberton.
Danny at Alberton. Port have been doing most of the attacking and they're being rewarded. 3-3-21. Glenelg 1-2-8. Now let's go to Peter Bernard, Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Norwood leading now, 2-1-13 to Westies 1-3-9, and that's at the 18.5-minute mark. Now it's back to Noarlunga.
Well, down here at Noarlunga, we're watching the water down on the half-forward line for South Adelaide actually just sort of spray up in the air. There's been rain down here, there's been wind. It's very difficult conditions. The ball's been transferred down towards half-forward now for the Central District team. Coming out of defence now, the South Adelaide defender in Jared Bennett, the former Sydney Swan. It's ideal for Swans this weather, I tell you what. As a hand pass comes back now in the direction of Chris Hall. He tries to run out an opponent. He's going to be trapped there. Coming through is James Gowans, held without the ball. No, play on calls the umpire. It's going to be the boy there, an officer, as it goes with the left foot kick across now to Shell. A big kick for goal, and he is out of bounds on the full. He's had 2 out of bounds on the full and a behind so far in this opening quarter. Central District 3-6-24, South Adelaide yet to score, and we've played 20 minutes of the opening quarter. John Simons.
Well, Robbie Forster Knight, I'm not sure why he couldn't go with that one from there. Appeared to be over the mark from where we were sitting, but the umpire said he wasn't quite at the correct angle, so unable to affect that kick back into play to the free player he had there in Craig Parry. Eventually plays on. Forster Knight kicks the ball a bit longer now. Playing in front is Cowan, unable to take the mark. Parry receives the handball and gives it to Michael Davis, who throws it on his boot towards the boundary line where Brent Tuckey helps the ball over. And we'll have a boundary throw in now as we approach the 21-minute mark here, and the Crazy John scoreboard is all one-way traffic at the moment. Central District's 3-6-24, South Adelaide yet to score, but Central District's kicking with the aid of an extremely strong breeze. Very difficult to gauge how good or indifferent their quarter has been until we see South Adelaide use it for the first time in the second quarter. As the restart play happens now, Fleming keeps his head over the ball as he's done on numerous occasions today. It's taken by McCabe, who sends the Bulldogs forward, where Scotty Webb is the roadblock, keeps his head over the footy and does it well with some courageous play from Auto Pro. Tackled well there is the Central District player in Symes. It's little Stephen Kenner who wrapped him up, effected a wonderful tackle. Symes unable to legally dispose of the ball, and Kenner receives the free for holding the ball, sends the Panthers towards the edge of their 50-metre arc, unable to just go in there as Steinburner repels the attack through the agency now of Mackenzie. Go the Bulldogs to their half-forward line, where Gowan's at ground level. Chris gets the ball in the direction of Slade. Slade soccers it forward to Kane Officer, who's well tackled by Tim Fleming, who kept him in close check there, and the balls eventually come over the boundary line for another throw-in as the crowd get involved in the contest now here. And Brenton Honor, you would suggest that Central's, you'd want at least a 5 to 6 goal lead, you would think, with this breeze.
Yeah, you would, and the things can happen in a rush, Simon, as you know. Like, you've got to persist with their, their pre-game directions from their coach, and just, just keep on attacking this forward 50, and they still might be able to score 3 or 4 in the last 5 minutes.
And they try and do that now through Tyson Hay. Played for a free in front that wasn't actually there. Richie Cochran picked the ball up, was well tackled. His handball was ineffective as well. There's a free kick possibly against Stephen Kenner, and it's paid correctly there to Michael Taylor, making his debut, the young player for the Bulldogs today, and will receive the free kick on the centre wing, hemmed up against the boundary line on the grandstand side of the ground here at Noarlunga Oval, as the left footer kicks it in the direction of only Tommy Hately, who wanted to jump at the ball. Cowan was beaten to that contest by Hately. That'll be a good contest to watch there. Luke Cowan, the state centre-half forward, and Tom Hately, the developing young centre-half back for the South Adelaide Panthers.
23 minutes of the opening quarter. Central's 3-6-24. South Adelaide still yet to score. Central's going with the strong breeze. It's going to be, lovely
Great
smother. That is an Auto Pro Golden Grove courageous play. Matthew Smith affecting the smother there as Richard Cochran went to kick the ball, and I reckon they might sting too.
I'll tell you what, Doug, do you think if he had your gloves on today that might have helped him with that smother?
Well, I'm beginning to think that I think I should lend my gloves to Jeremy Ofterhide, and you lend your beanie to Ben Warren, because the ball hasn't been down there in this first quarter.
I'm glad we're on radio, not on TV. That's all I can say.
That has nothing to do with the way we look, I'm sure. Brenton Otter here enjoying the action too. I think it's easier to play it up here though, Brenton, than down there on a day like today.
Oh, always, isn't it? This is a good spot.
There's the action now. Goes down towards the wing, and big buckets Mackenzie, the boy from Kapunda, puts both arms up and takes the mark. It was a good mark. That will be a contender for the Paradise Community. Mr. Clip mark of the day this year it is. Change of sponsor. Sorry to the boys there. Brad and the team at Mr. Clip. The action coming out now with little Stephen Kenner, the former Carlton boy. He comes from Queensland. He wouldn't be all that used to this weather, I wouldn't think. As the action comes out now to Tyson Hay. He's from Colac in Victoria, so he'd be used to this weather. Goes down towards half-forward. Lovely kick, and he's found Luke McCabe, who's been quite dominant across half-forward in this first quarter. Perhaps hasn't Hasn't showed it on the scoreboard with just one behind and one out of bounds on the full. But a chance now. No, 48 metres out from goal. He's decided to go short, and he's kicked it to probably the best kick for goal in the Central District team in Daniel Healy. He's a wonderful kick for goal. If you're a young kid watching football and you want to know how to kick a footy in the SANFL, look at Daniel Healy. He's wonderful, particularly if you kick with your left foot. If you're learning to kick with your left foot, he's not a bad role model either. And he comes 51 metres out. Look at that for a kick. But the Breeze has got that one too and dragged it offline for a minor score. I thought for a moment it was just going to go straight through the middle. Central's 3-7-25. South Adelaide yet to score. 25 minutes have gone in the opening quarter. That Breeze is strong, John.
Very, very strong. That carried the fence quite easily as the kick in there. Tried to spot up Owen Davey. Pretty difficult to do so on the day like today, but he did wonderfully well. A terrific individual effort there from Owen Davey, taking on 4 Central's opponents there and winning possession of the ball and getting the ball out of bounds. You heard Brenton Honor in the background call it as brilliant, and that's a terrific dedication of the cause there, Brent.
Well, he did well, which is a terrible option, wasn't it, from Nagel? You don't go short, when you're battling conditions that you are here this afternoon, and Davey did a fantastic job. You're right, Simon.
No need to finesse here. Just get the ball forward would be the message today, as Davey again picks the ball up, gets the ball on his boot, decided to against an unnecessary handball, but handballing again is McCabe now to Marco Bello, pops it on his non-preferred right boot. Jumping high is Cowan, but also equally high was Tommy Haitley to affect the spoil. Picked up at ground level now by Fleming, goes back in the direction of the experienced Scotty Webb, and his handball can go to Robbie Forster Knight, or Robbie Forster Knight can let it bounce through, as he does, through it for a rush behind. That's the Bulldogs' 8th for the opening quarter to go with their 3 goals. Gives them a total of 26. The Panthers are yet to get the ball inside their 50-metre arc.
Kick comes out now towards the half-back line. Hanby was up there, couldn't take the mark. Going to be taken away here by Symes, the young Port power player. In towards centre-half forward he goes. It's eluded all players. It's a Cowan, a hand pass to James Gowans, another hand pass to Healy. His kick is smothered. The ball about 10 metres out from goal. But the South Adelaide defenders are doing well. Coming through strongly there was Fleming, forced into a hurried left-foot kick and not real effective. And the mark is taken out there by...
Arnott.
It is Simon Arnott at least. Simon Arnott comes in.
Good kick.
That is a lovely kick. That is a real contender for a TJM Serious four-wheel drive goal of the day. It's his 2nd goal. That was an absolute gem from 50 metres out. He allowed beautifully for the Breeze, and Centrals have kicked their 4th. 4 goals, 8, which is 32. Leading South Adelaide yet to score. We've played 27 minutes of the opening quarter. Around the grounds for National Wireless two-way radio, Ben Pittman at Unley.
About 23 minutes into the first quarter here at Unley, and scores are level again. Sturt and the Eagles are locked together on 3 goals to 20. Now we'll throw it down for Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
Then it's a 28-minute mark. It's Port Adelaide 3-4-22, leading Glenelg 1-3-9. Peter Byrne, over to you now, Richmond.
Yeah, at the 26.5-minute mark, Norwood lead West Adelaide 3-1-19 to West 1-4-10. Now it's back to Noarlunga.
And down here at Noarlunga, Ben Newbury, who is in the South Adelaide team today, the former Glenelg boy, kicks the ball deep into the attacking zone. It's the furthest north that South have gone, if that makes sense, in this whole game today. It's out of bounds about 40 metres around from the goals. And South yet to score in this opening quarter, kicking into a very, very strong Breeze. Central's 4 goals, 8-32, and it's almost quarter time. 28 minutes of the quarter gone. Scholar got the front position, got the tap out too. Big pack-up players there as Central's bottled up there. Any chance that South have got, of course, is going to be thwarted as that flooding occurs, and it's not just the players, it's the water down there too. So it's very, very difficult conditions. So the ball is out of bounds. Brenton Honor, you're writing furiously there. What are we getting out of your mind at the moment?
Yeah, I was just going to just having a look here, Doug, like the normal rotation that Rob Hyman does with Fleming and Hanby isn't actually happening today. Like Hanby is start off in the back pocket there, and Fleming just coming from the ground. Then Hanby went on the ball, and Daly has come on to take Hanby's spot.
Across half-back line as the ball goes out of bounds. 28.5, almost 29 minutes played. The opening quarter, the Crazy Johns match of the day, Noarlunga Oval. It's a windy, very windy Noarlunga Oval at the moment, and quite wet from some previous rain, but not raining at the moment as the ball again comes out to Luke McCabe. His handball goes in the direction of James Gowans, unable to pick the ball up. Coming in from behind are a couple of South Adelaide players, one of them being Matthew Smith, the other Chris Hall. Neither player able to affect possession. And again, Simon Arnott's getting a lot of the ball because he's able to play unopposed at the moment, just almost a kick behind the play. Arnott's kicked it long. It's going to carry the pack here in Slade and go through for a behind. Simon Arnott, his third scoring shot playing as a traditional centreman today, has kicked 2-goal-1 of the Bulldogs' opening term score, which is 4-9-33. South Adelaide are yet to score, and they've brought the ball back in short and sideways to Tommy Haitley, who will have not much choice but to kick it down the line now, but his kick slews off the side of the boot and comes errantly inboard, where Simon Arnott picks up the ball and chips it short over the top to James Gowans, who's playing in front of Michael Hamby there, and will have a, well, no set shot for goal today is relatively simple, but a very gettable goal, shot for goal, shall we say, Brenton Honor, from about 45 metres out straight in front.
Yeah, he should kick this. He's a class player. Interesting, like Centrals just don't appear to be playing a wet weather style of... we'll come back to this comment. We'll just let him have a kick for
James Gowans does kick. It's not quite going to get the distance, actually. Just laid back on that one. Didn't really kick through it as though he wanted to hammer that 10, 15 metres over the goal umpire's head, as Daniel Healy did previously, but James Gowans missed that. So a quarter time, yeah, Central's 4-10-34, South Adelaide no score. You were saying, Brenton?
Yeah, I was just saying that like Central's playing, basically the way they finished their game last week at...
10-34, leading South Adelaide yet to score. We'll talk a little bit about tactics as this second quarter goes on too. It's very, very interesting in these windy conditions. South going in the breeze this quarter. The throw up they go. Big Paul Scott got the first hand pass away there though, but back into a pack of players. A little kick off the ground there by the South player in King. But Centrals, I think, will clear here through the Hollywood Hopwood. Down towards half 40 goes. Up they go. Knocked away there. Big pack of players. A hand pass came out there, picked up by Bello. Bello goes really into another pack of players. It'll be the pattern of the play, I would think, a lot of this game here today, given the conditions. It's on the ground. No one able to break clear, but there will be a free kick to Centrals there. The boy got down, put his head over the...
Cochrane.
Well, it is Cochrane. Richard Cochrane this time. Goes in short and finds the big tall player in Scotland. That's a lovely kick into the breeze. Look at the water just spraying up. Will you? Was Daniel Shelwyn in there for it? He couldn't pick up the ball. Going in strongly there is Bennett. He went with a hand pass there. White boots Bennett. Will they stay the same all day? Who knows? It's on the ground. The players are on the ground. And there's a free kick here to Central District, about 50 metres out from goal. And Chris Gowans has got it.
Chris Gowans now about 55 metres out, as Doug said, is going to go laterally across to Tyson Hay, who's almost on the corner of the centre square. The left-footed Hay will be able to send the Dogs inside 50. No, he goes back from whence he came to Chris Gowans. They've gained about 3 metres, and Gowans sends the ball inside 50, playing in front, and unable to take the mark on the second bite was Luke Cowan, the big centre forward. The ball comes back eventually to Marco Bello, pops it on his right boot, looking out wide for Daniel Healy, traps the ball beautifully and kicks not only the first score to the northern end of the ground, but the first goal to the northern end of the ground, and it's the opening goal to the second quarter. The Bulldogs skipper kicks his first for the day. 1-goal-1 to Daniel Healy, and also his 150th goal in the SANFL competition. And the Bulldogs have opened up the scoring, 5-10-40. South Adelaide yet to score. And Brendan Honor, interesting to see how they go about their footy in this decisive second quarter, Central Districts.
Yeah, you're right, Simon. Like, interestingly too, they haven't put anyone back, so no one's playing as a loose man behind. They've just structured their side like they would on a dry, calm day. So he's obviously got a lot of confidence in his players to do attack against this breeze, Simon.
The action underway again. It's Matthew Clark and Paul Scholar doing battle. Wonderful duel between these two big men. Matthew Clark with all that experience in the AFL. Paul Scholar, of course, an outstanding tap ruckman in the SANFL. Boy from New South Wales. May have got the tap out, but taken here by Michael Hanby. Kicks the ball very high. Comes down towards half forward. Little Davey was the target. Hay went up with the fist. Couldn't really put the ball to it. A kick off the ground by Tucky is out of bounds on the full. It slewed off the side of his foot. But it was an attacking move there by the boy, as Sibanana and Parry just exchange a few pleasantries, I think, just trying to keep warm. It's amazing, this game. Those Centrals have had 15 scoring shots, and South Adelaide have not had one at this stage. It's an amazing statistic, Brenton Honor.
Yeah, it is, Doug. It's just like, it's only early in the second quarter too. Obviously, you know, South will do their best to even that those totals up a little bit. But you know, Centrals are really controlling the footy in these early stages in the second quarter.
And they kick the ball back in through Tyson Hay. McKenzie taps the ball to the advantage of his on-ballers there, Hopwood and Cochrane. Neither player unable to take possession of the ball. And we'll have a ball up about 70 metres from the Panther goal. And as we often see in games of football, don't panic yet, Panther supporters. Football is a game of momentum, and the Bulldogs have all of it at the moment, but the Panthers will have their turn certainly before this term is out. And it's a matter, as Brenton Honor said, of what they can put on the scoreboard, and they might get an opportunity to do so here as Alwyn Davey has marked just outside of 50, sends the ball just inside 50. It's loose off the side of his boot. Hanby unable to mark, taken high in the tackle there is Tyson Hay. No, Sibonala it was. No player unable to win the free or win possession of the ball, and we'll have a ball up about 50 metres out now from the Panther goal, the attacking goal this quarter, kicking to the wind-assisted southern end of Noarlunga Oval, which is drenched in wind today and a little bit of rain earlier, as James Gowans wins the clearance out to Eve Sibonala. Sibonala clears the defensive 50-metre arc, looking for the boundary out in front of the outer toilets, where we wave hello to a few spectators sprinkled out there, and the ball is dribbled along the boundary line, outside of the boundary line now, and we'll have a boundary throw in. A 40-point lead to the opposition side here today. The Bulldogs, they are 5-10. South Adelaide, Doug, yet to score.
Not sure if those spectators are queuing up or whether they're just simply seeking shelter. But whatever it is, they're enjoying the game anyway.
The door's locked.
The action on the outer side of the ground near the previously mentioned toilets now. Nice brickwork out there too. As the action now on the half-forward line here for South Adelaide. Can they manufacture something here? Can they get a score? They haven't at this stage in the game, and we've played 5 minutes into the second quarter, and the ball is out of bounds right near somebody with a blue and white umbrella on the outer side of the ground, and that'll get plenty of use today too with the rain. It's not heavy rain, but it just seems to be coming and going from time to time and making conditions pretty slippery. We'll go around the grounds again in just a moment, fellas, and find out what's happening at all the other 3 venues in the SA NFL. Big game, of course, at the MCG today. West Coast having just a fairly narrow lead over Melbourne at half-time in that game. And the action at the moment on the half-forward line for South, and they've got a free kick. Umpire says go back and have it, and the boy who's got it there is number 32 in Chris Hall, the former Port Power player. Well, he was on their list for 2 or 3 years. I think he only played about 1 game, but he's a wonderful player locally. That's a good kick, lovely kick, good lead by Tucky, and he's taken the mark 40 metres out from goal, and this surely will be the first score for South Adelaide. The big centre half forward from North Ballarat, coming also, of course, with a career at Collingwood and West Coast Eagles, and a chance now to bring up South Adelaide's first score and perhaps their first goal for the afternoon. The breeze still very strong. We're watching him now. He's a very, very good player. And he comes, taking plenty of time, testing the commentators here. There's the kick for goal. Doesn't look to kick. Looks to allowed for the breeze beautifully, and he's put that one straight through for South Adelaide's first score and their first goal. The Panthers 1 goal straight 6 on the Crazy John scoreboard. Central District 5 goals 10-40 as we go around the grounds for National Wireless 2-way radio at Unley. Ben Pittman.
About 11 minutes into the second quarter here, and Mark Passador is dominating. He's kicked the first 3 goals of the quarter for the Eagles, and subsequently they're up by 18 points. Woodville West Tynes 6 goals 2-38, leading Sturt 3 goals 2-20, about 11 minutes into the second quarter. Now throw it down to Daniel Beasy at Alberton. And here at Chile Alberton, it's 4-5-29. Port Adelaide leading Glenelg 2-3-15. So they're up by 14 points. Let's now go down to Peter Byrne at Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. At the 8-minute mark, Norwood 4-1-25, lead West 1-4-10. Now it's back to the boys at Noarlunga.
And back here at Noarlunga Oval, we have missed no action as the Brent Tucky kicked that ball all the way down the mound there at the base of Noarlunga Oval. It's taken a little while to retrieve that one back. May have thought there was a spare ball there, but perhaps not. But we're set for the restart now as Scholar and Clark go at it again. Eventually Scholar gets the second tap on the ball to knock it to the advantage of the Dogs now. Chasing after the ball there, a couple of players sliding in, McCabe being one of them for the Bulldogs. Healy another one. Eventually they've won possession through sheer weight of numbers. Bello back in the direction of McCabe, sends the Dogs inside 50, storming out and dropping the mark is Luke Cowan. In the end, it was an uncontested chest mark, but sliding down at ground level when perhaps he didn't need to, enabled him then to eventually drop the mark, and the Bulldogs will reload now. And again, Gowan sends them inside 50, and this time holding onto the chest mark and keeping his feet, which is so crucial today, is Kane Officer. Perhaps just a bit too far out to score, decides to send one off short, and storming out, wonderful mark. I missed a clip mark of the day. Marking effort there from central spearhead in Daniel Shell, storming out of fullback, and there's an opponent there in Jared Bennett was right with him, but Shell, it was a wonderful mark, Brenton Honor.
Yes, he's got beautiful hands. Like in conditions like this, you really want your key forwards to stand up. Like, you need your forwards marking, and it's just indicative that South Adelaide's last sort of foray into their forward 50, like Tucky took a mark and kicked a goal. This is Shell's first mark of the day. Luke Cowan, interestingly, has probably had the opportunity to probably mark 4 or 5.
As Shell's shot for goal now, no, he has hooked it and has gone out of bounds on the full. But no, as you were about to say, Brendan, the value of keeping your feet there between Cowan and Shell.
Yeah, and like Cowan would be really frustrating for the Centrals coach Roy Laird. Like, you need your big forward players taking marks, and as I said, he's had the opportunity to do that.
Talking of big fellas, Matthew Clark takes the relieving free kick for the Panthers, sends it back into play where Matthew Smith gets up ahead of steam, gets a handball to the feet of Michael Davis. He's unable to take possession, but they've forced the ball about 40 metres further up the ground. The Panthers Centrals are going backwards and helping the Panthers out here now. And Scholar trying to charge through. Is tackled by the biggest player on the ground, is tackled holding the ball by the smallest player on the ground. In little Stephen Kenner, punts the ball inside 50. Being interfered with there is Craig Parry. The free kick going against Buckets McKenzie for Central District. So the two Central District ruckmen giving away consecutive frees there, and it's going to result in a shot on goal by the former Port Adelaide ruckman and now Panther player in Craig Parry. Will have a shot for goal. He'll be about 45 metres out by the time he takes his kick, but with the breeze as strong as it is today, it's normally probably about a 25 to 30 metre kick on a normal dry day. It's just a matter of judging the conditions correctly. A little bit of left to right from there, as we've seen today. Craig Parry puts it out to Brenton on his left-hand post, and it swings back through for a behind. Just misses to the left-hand side. Looked to kick a good kick off the boot, BH, but just missed.
Yeah, he did. He made really good contact. You would have thought he would have went to school on Brent Tucky's just shot for goal a couple of minutes earlier, and he was definitely aiming for that post, but obviously with this fluky win, wasn't able to work back with it.
Brenton, I was just thinking, if the South players are going to applaud through a point like that, imagine what's going to happen when they kick a goal.
Oh, they get excited down here, Doug.
Oh, they do, don't they? As the ball is picked up once again, this time by Matthew Clark, that time showing a lot of determination. Got it out, but it was sharp though by Matty Slade. Kicks the ball out toward the defensive half-back line for Centrals, and it's out of bounds, and there will be a throw-in. Central District 5-10-40, leading South 1-1-7. We've played 11 minutes into the second quarter, and the action here for Crazy Johns. On the outer side of the ground, the big fella's doing battle again. It's going to be Clark, and it's going to be Scholar. Scholar got the tap out there, got it across there to Slade. He can't burst his way clear, and there will be another throw-in. So not much action at the moment here at the Noarlunga Oval, apart from a few clouds going past, and plenty of those. Umpire Richard Williams holds the ball aloft. Throws it up this time. Up they go once again. Clark over the top. Got the tap out there for South Adelaide. Got it over there to King. King went with the left foot. Couldn't really get too much meterage with it. It's on the ground. The crowd yelling out something. I can't quite determine what that language is, but it is going to be another ball up. So it's about 40 metres out from goal. We'll go around the grounds again in just a few moments, find out what's happening at the other three venues. 33 points the margin here in favour of Central District, and South going with the breeze.
Clark and Scholar at it again. Alwyn Davey could be the danger player here at ground level if he could just get his hands onto the ball, but it's unlikely to come out of that pack, and neither side will go forward any further in this particular contest as we do tick over to the 12-minute mark here now in the Crazy Johns match of the day here at Noarlunga Oval. Central District still with a decisive 33-point break and defending grimly and stoutly out to the outer side boundary line on a few occasions this quarter. As the restart in play will head in that direction again. McKenzie flags his intentions quite intently to kick the ball towards the boundary line. It doesn't make it. It's picked up by Kenner. Sends the ball forward. Craig Parry's on his lonesome, just out of the goal square, and dropped a chest mark. Groans in the background. Brenton Honor. You've got to hold those marks.
Well, mate, that's exactly what we were talking about, wasn't it? The reliance on his teammates have got for the big players when they get an opportunity to take those marks.
Yeah, the slippery conditions aren't a factor. It's a chest mark, and we've seen a couple drop today. And Parry now given the free away in the rucking contest there. It'll be taken by McKenzie. He's going to look to give the ball off by hand. Healy runs around one side, Hopwood the other, but a little bit risky today. No need to over-possess the footy. And McKenzie's kick somewhat fortuitously heads in the direction of Chris Gowans, but his tackle has taken Fleming high and illegally, and Timmy Fleming will receive a free kick just on the 50-metre arc on the outer side of Noarlunga Oval, but with the breeze right behind him. not renowned for his long kicking, but again, today, you would back most players in to get the journey from there. He doesn't want to try and kick it too hard though, Fleming. It looks a nice sort of contact, but just drifted it to the left-hand side, and they won't come back for once they start out there with that breeze today, and this one in actual fact hasn't. So the Panthers are 1 goal to 8, and that is 20% of the Bulldogs total, who are 5 goals 10-40.
Goodness me, we're talking in fraction percentages, the whole works. It's the 1%ers that really count though, John, as they say. Let's go round the grounds and find out what's happening for National Wireless two-way radio at Unley. Here's Ben Pittman.
17 minutes into the second quarter, and the Eagles are enjoying complete domination here. They're up by 32 points. The Eagles are 8-4, 52 to Sturt 3-2, 20. Now we'll throw it down to Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
Rather than 20-minute mark down here at Alberton, and it's still Port Adelaide by 13 points. Port Adelaide 5-5, 3-4, 22. Now let's go over to Peter at Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. It's West Adelaide trailing Norwood 5-2, 32 to Westies 1-4-10. Now it's back to Noarlunga.
And back here, South Adelaide going forward through Michael Hanby in towards centre half forward. Parry was the player in front, couldn't take the mark. A hand pass came out from Davis, comes back to Parry, but the umpire says it's out of bounds. There will be a throw in 55 metres around from the South Adelaide goal, or in fact just on the 50-metre line, and right out in front of the grandstand, where the one or two of the South supporters, I think they're a little bit frustrated as much as anything.
Got to warm up somehow. Just keep the tonsils warm is a good way, Doug.
I tell you what, the pies and the pasties and the steak sandwiches have never smelt better than they have today. As Eve Sevenata gets the ball there, he's tackled as he kicks, but it's quite effective again across the boundary line. And again, the poor old boundary umpire's been given a mouthful. The ball was actually 5 metres over the line, and the guy still...
Yeah, look, a bit of frustration here from the South Adelaide supporters, perhaps mirroring what's happening out in the field with the South players just not able to get any clear possession of the footy. Central District's doing a pretty good job back there in defence. They're not storming back there in numbers. They're just at the footy first. As McKenzie keeps his head over the footy now, it's taken here by Davey. Here's a chance for some excitement. Alwyn Davey starts the ball out left. It swings back in. It was going to be a TJM Serious four-wheel drive goal of the day, until Off to Hide came from nowhere and just touched the ball over the line. It ended up being a behind. South Adelaide 1-3-9, Central's 5-10-40. Brendan Honor, that may have been, well, for our listeners not here at the ground, it was very reminiscent of Stewie G's goal last night.
Oh, wasn't that a fantastic goal? Actually, you're right, it was exactly the same pocket. And, yeah, we all thought it was through.
It was a brilliant effort. Just didn't quite swing back as we just allow Doug Oakley to take a tablet just to calm down that heart racing hard after that performance. You enjoyed that one, Doug?
I did, actually.
It was a ripper.
It's wonderful stuff. It's the reason we come to the footy. You know, it was just wonderful stuff. He's like his brother, isn't he, the way he plays the game?
Just exciting. If he can just get his hand on the footy a couple more times this quarter, he could help the Panthers on the scoreboard. At the moment, they trail by 31 points, 16.5 minutes into the first quarter. The Crazy Johns, match of the day at Noarlunga Oval, sees South Adelaide camped in offence at the moment inside their forward 50-metre line. Steinburner picks the ball up, searches for the boundary line, doesn't make it. Chris Hall picks the ball up, pops it to the top of the square. Where's Parry? McKenzie playing in front, punches the ball. Parry comes from behind, hunting the ball down like a rover, chasing Simon Arnott. Bickies is able to soccer the ball about 45 metres out of the defensive 50. Now coming at it, Nagel and Bello. Bello wins the race, Nagel wins the ball. Eventually comes to Matthew Smith. He's well tackled by Simon Arnott. Wonderful effort. Some Auto Pro, courageous play from Golden Grove there. Auto Pro with Simon Arnott just charging up after that footy a second and a third time, and really showing some terrific spirit to follow that play up and eventually lay the tackle on Matthew Smith, holding the ball. And will take the resultant free kick now. Sends the Panthers toward the Bulldogs towards their 50-metre line. Is headed out towards the boundary line. Daniel Schell involved in the marking contest, but was illegally holding onto the wrist there of Jared Bennett. The umpire has called, and Bennett will take the free. No one on the mark. Decides to play on, goes down the line looking for Tucky, but won't get that far. Going to Simon Arnott there, and you must admit, Brendan Honor trying to pick out targets like that one, just a little bit hopeless, you'd suggest, on a day like today. Send the ball long.
Yeah, you just can't over-finesse today, can you? You just got to go, long and direct, use the wind to your advantage, and particularly on this side of the ground. I'm sort of glad that South at least is on the grandstand side now. This is the attacking side of the ground.
And I'm also glad too, because the eyes don't quite see it over on the other side too, Brendan. But the action at the moment is on the centre wing position in front of the grandstand. Or in front of the, it's the stand-up grandstand here at Noarlunga, and there will be, let's see, another ball up here. And the big fellas to engage themselves in battle once again. Umpire Peter Williams this time says it is mine. Will he throw it? Will he bounce it? I think he'll throw it. I think all the umpires will today, as Matthew Clark there gets the tap out too, gets it across here in the direction of Newbury. He couldn't pick the ball up. In there underneath the ball was James Gowans, taken by Newbury. Couldn't get the foot to ball. He's got it this time though. Goes with his non-preferred right foot. A lovely mark, a Mr. Clip mark of the day there. Got it on the second grab, did Tyson Hay. Now with that familiar left foot kicking action of his, he's a beautiful kick of the ball. And he has pinpointed a teammate there in Simon Arnott. He's really coming into this game. Here's Simon Arnott. He goes in short and will find the big, long, loping, striding Scholar. That is a lovely kick, as I heard David Eddett, umpire's advisor in the background, saying it's good to see the umpies looking at the game as we are too, as they normally do. Taken by Bennett, deep in defence for South Adelaide, thumped on by Officer though for the Central District team. Got it across there to his teammate there, number 11 in Michael Taylor. First game for him. Here's a chance now. It'll be a goal to Centrals. Daniel Shell has kicked a goal. It's his 5th attempt for goal, and he's kicked his first for the afternoon. And the 6th goal to the Bulldogs, 6 goals, 10-46. Leading South Adelaide just 1 goal, 3-9. The Crazy John scoreboard, live from Noarlunga. A quick comment from Brenton Honor, then we'll go round the grounds.
Yeah, again, you can see the value of players keeping their feet. There was a fantastic play early on that in 3 or 4 minutes ago with Simon Arnott, as we described. But what we obviously had privilege of seeing here is that Bello kept his feet and to have any opportunity to get the ball forward. And Daniel Shell did exactly the same thing there. Forster Knight was out of position anyway, but Shell kept his feet, hang on to the ball. He took the mark, which is important, then had the presence of mind to play on and kick from point-blank range.
And Robert Pyman perhaps lost some patience with Craig Parry at the moment, taking him off the ground, or then again just could be looking for a smaller matchup there, bringing on Sean Daly into the forward line to stand now McKenzie. So just could be a matchup win there for the Panthers, Doug.
John, it could well be, although I think Parry might still be out there, which is interesting. They've actually swung him onto the balls.
Clark,
Clark, big Matthew Clark, yeah. Probably only room for one big ruckman out there today.
Yeah, you wouldn't want too many.
As we go round the grounds now for National Wireless two-way radio, Ben Pittman and Unley.
24 minutes into the second quarter here, and the Eagles are leading Sturt by 33 points. The Eagles 8 goals 5, 53, leading Sturt 3 goals 2, 20. Now we'll throw it down to Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
Thanks, Ben. It might be miserable weather down here, but the footy's pretty good, and Sturgeon's just kicked his 3rd goal, so they're now 6-7, must be 41, leading Glenelg 3-4, 22. Let's go down to Ben. Peter, sorry, now Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. It's Norwood by 27 points. It's Norwood 6-3, 39 to Westies 1-5, 11 at the 22-minute mark. Now it's back to Noarlunga.
And fairly chilly conditions back here too. Umpire bounces the ball again. Parry got the tap out, bumps it in towards centre half forward, but the Central District defenders are up to it there. A kick off the ground this time, but might have been by the player there in Cochrane. Comes down towards the wing, and there will be a throw-in midway between wing and half forward. It was Richard Cochrane. Boundary umpire now. This is the black-haired boundary umpire as opposed to the red-headed one who's on the outer side, and he's going to throw the ball in, and Parry and also Scholar to do battle once again. John Simons to take up the commentary.
In comes the boundary throw in now. A couple of them have fallen short today. The ruckman need to read that and come in closer to the contest. They didn't read it again on that occasion, and neither ruckman managed to get to that one. Marco Bello in the end was able to win a tap out. Wouldn't win too many clearances in the form of tap outs, I wouldn't have thought, from the contest. Marco Bello, as James Gowans yelled something out to a spectator here in the grandstand. It was along the lines of, have a look at the scoreboard, and the scoreboard reads Central 6-10-46. The Panthers are trailing on 1 goal 3-9 as we tick into the 22nd minute of the second quarter here. The Crazy Johns match of the day. Scholar comes off for a rest now, replaced by Steinberner, and Jason McKenzie comes up from the back half to take this ruck contest again here with Parry now. Parry and McKenzie. Parry in front, wins the wrestle, but neither player able to even touch the ball before it bounces. Hamby trying to break through some traffic in the form of Gowans J and Marco Bello, unable to break through either of those, and we'll have another stoppage, our 3rd in this spot. 22.5 minutes into the second quarter. Hamby again at ground level. He's well tackled. That's holding the ball, and the umpire says so. Unable to affect the possession. Michael Hamby mouths off back at the umpire, but really, Brenton Honor, technically a correct decision.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty obvious. I don't know what Hammy's going on about there. He was clearly caught.
Bello takes the resultant free kick now to James Gowans up the boundary line and finds his target. So Gowans camped on the centre wing, the broadcast wing and the grandstand wing, which is a good thing today with the rain dribbling down in parts here at Noarlunga Oval. But certainly the wind still manages to get through there. Gowans now affects his kick. Haitley comes from about 4 deep to affect a very good spoil. Chris Gowans picks the ball up, tries to gain some yardage in the form of a little dribbled kick, but the dribbled kick went over the boundary line on the full and out of bounds on the full. Scotty Webb takes the free kick. Here's some attacking play from the Panthers now as he sends it inboard to Chrissy Hall. His arms are taken by Hopwood after he's taken the mark, and that is also a technically correct decision. Hopwood mouths off back at the umpire, but he should know the rules. He wasn't in the marking contest, and that is a 25 metre and correctly paid to Chris Hall. He can now launch for the Panthers inside 50. Warren coming from behind, full-chested, gets his chest to the ball, but unable to take the mark. Tucky in an unaccustomed role as a crummer at ground level, unable to release the ball, and we'll have a ball up about 35 metres now from the Panther goal. Benny Warren, that was his best chance to have his first impact on the contest today, but unable to take that mark and not receive the resultant shot on goal as we tick into the 24.5-minute mark now. The Crazy Johns match of the day at Noarlunga Oval sees the visiting side, the Bulldogs, leading by 37 points. Doug Oakley.
Yeah, the action there with the umpire throws the ball up. No one able to break clear, though, this time. And there will be yet another ball up. 35 metres out from the South Adelaide goal. They've only had the 4 shots at goal. Centrals have had 16 shots, and in fact a few more too, with I think about 3 or 4 out of bounds on the full. Big Gut McKenzie tries to charge his way through, can't do so. Intercepted here by Mark DeMacy, former Central player. Managed to get a left foot to the ball, wasn't all that effective. Comes out to Kenner though. Kenner, the former Carlton boy, a little kick along the ground, and it's gone out of bounds. There will be a throw in. It's about 10 metres around from the South Adelaide goal. It's deep in the southwestern pocket. Strangely enough, the breeze is not coming from that direction today. It's actually coming down from the northeast, pretty much straight from as we look up there to the Colonnade Shopping Centre. It's coming from that direction, right down the ground. There's the throw in. The big fellas doing battle. Goes over their head, believe it or not, on that occasion. It was normally falling a little bit short of them. Players falling on top of the ball. Taken by McKenzie. Gets a little short kick in. Daly's got the ball now. What can he do? Can he make something of it? No, he can't. The ball's on the ground. Picked up here by Fleming. Fleming now with a short kick, but it's intercepted by Matty Slade. And Matthew Slade has taken a good mark there. Deep in defence for Central District. And so he will repel that rather promising attack by the Panthers.
Slade now kicks it outside of the defensive 50, coming from behind his shell, punches towards the boundary line, does so with discipline, coming from behind there. Jared Bennett in front and gets it over the boundary line. 37 points is the lead to the Bulldogs. That would be wrapped, you would suggest, Brendan Honor, to take that size lead into half-time.
Yeah, and conversely, like you would think Robbie Pollman would be absolutely ropeable to kick one goal with what really you'd believe to be a 5 or 6 goal breeze this quarter. Would be it's just not good enough.
Can they get one now as Davis sends the ball inside 50? Newbury coming from about 10 metres away from that contest, unable to get to it, and Heath Hopwood takes an uncontested mark, clears the area for the Dogs out through the agency of Sibonela. Sibonela now can go out in front of Steinburner or charging out Cowan. It goes through Cowan. Steinburner cleverly runs onto it, soccers the ball inside 50. Daniel Shell is there against Bennett. Bennett also likewise soccers the ball towards the boundary line, makes no attempt to hide what he was doing, and the umpire says so. That was deliberate, and look, we all knew what he was trying to do, but perhaps he just needed to be a little bit more subtle in the way he went about it to not give away the free kick. And in the end, Daniel Shell has been paid the free from umpire Richard Williams, technically the correct one, and have the opportunity to send the Bulldogs inside 50 again now for perhaps the last time for this opening half, but unhappy with where Jared Bennett was positioned on the mark. Jared Bennett certainly stating his case back at the umpire, and we've got a bit of a stalemate here, and Daniel Shell will go back and do it all again, Doug.
6 goals, 10 to Central District, 46 leading South, 1 goal, 3-9. In comes Daniel Shell. It looks like he's kicking from about 45. That's not a bad kick into the breeze. Over the back of the pack there are a couple of players. A left foot snapshot for goal here by Centrals. It's a goal. And it is Kane Officer who's put that one through, the long sleeve showing up there. And I tell you what, this has been a sensational quarter by Centrals. They've held South to 1-3. They've kicked a couple of goals themselves and kicking into that real stiff breeze. Phenomenal stuff. So Central District, 7 goals, 10-52, leading South Adelaide 1-3-9. The Seagulls are coming out into the forward line for South Adelaide. I don't know if that's a flooding tactic employed by the Central's coach. We won't worry about that. We'll go around the grounds, though, for National Wireless two-way radio at Unley. Here's Ben Pittman.
Yeah, half-time here at Unley, and it's the Eagles up by 34 points. Woodville Ross Times 8 goals, 6-54, leading Sturt, who were held scoreless in that quarter there, 3-2-20, leading by 34 points. Now we'll throw it down to Alberton.
Down in Alberton, it's Port Adelaide 7-7-49, leading Glenelg 5-5-35. So a 14-point difference down in Alberton. Let's now go down to Richmond with Peter Byrne.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. It's half-time down here. Westies only managed the point for that quarter, so it's Norwood at half-time, 7-3-45, lead West Adelaide 1-5-11. Now it's back to the boys at Noarlunga.
And back here, Central District in control of this game. The Mr. Clip mark of the day. Yes, they do have that, but it's the Crazy John's match of the day.
That's
John,
him.
The cold weather's got to the
And
brain.
he's about to commentate, Crazy John. Off he goes as Craig Parry gets the ball forward for the Panthers over the top of Tucky, unable to get involved in that marking contest. And Alan Davey led to the ball by Tyson Hay. The supporters there, somewhat one-eyed for the Panthers, looking for a deliberate call there. But there's nothing Tyson Hay could do to keep that ball in, Brendan. On it. Momentum obviously going to carry you over the boundary line.
Exactly right. Like, and when he actually took possession, he was probably, inside half a metre from the line anyway, so he had nowhere to go.
And the boundary umpire does his duty and throws the ball in. Mackenzie able to affect the tap out. Taylor playing in front with his head over the ball for Central Districts, unable to win possession, but does all his coach would want at the moment and gets the ball over the boundary line as we approach the 30-minute mark here. And the second quarter has been all one-way traffic. The Central Districts Bulldogs on 7-10-52, leading the home side. The South Adelaide Panthers, who are on 1-3. That's 9 points. Parry in front now, touches it down to Chris Hall, sends a mongrel sort of torpedo punt to the top of the goal square. Matthew Smith, an uncontested mark, unable to take it in difficult conditions there. Benny Warren takes possession of the ball, unable to get it to boot, gets a handball back to Warren. Now it comes to Davey, handballs back to Warren, and he won't get a shot on goal in time as the siren goes to indicate the end of the first half of the play here in the Crazy John's match of the day at Noarlunga Oval, a half which has been dominated by the Bulldogs today. They are 7 goals, 10-52, leading the Bulldogs, leading the Panthers, who are 1-3, 9 points.
Bernard has played very, very well, and Nathan Steinberger, what a player he is too, has done particularly well. They've looked dangerous all round, and they've just had good players everywhere. And Luke McCabe, his first quarter, I thought was quite outstanding across the half-forward line. But pretty hard to find good players for South Adelaide today. Umpire gets play underway. Up they go. Matty Clark might have got the tap out there. It's taken away here by South. Knocked on there by Daly for South. Not getting a great deal of distance with it, though. Another hand pass comes out here in the direction of the South boy. We'll pick him up in a moment. It's number 14 and Tim Fleming, the former Richmond player. Played 18 games at Richmond last year. No doubt he'll be hoping for his Tigers to do well against the Crows tonight. Hand pass from Warren. Got it across there to Davey. Another hand pass comes back to Benny Warren now. 40 metres out from goal. It wasn't such a good kick, but he's kicking into the teeth of the wind there. And Central District will bring the ball out of defence there. This time it might have been Cochrane a long way from here. Comes down towards the wing. Chris Gowans has got the ball. What's he going to do? He's got plenty of time. Kicks down towards the half-forward line. The race is on for it. Cowan had the front position, and Haitley was right with him, and the ball's been knocked across the line and out of bounds. A throw-in to take place. Have you ever tasted a better cup of coffee than that, John Simons, eh?
Not yet, because I just didn't quite get it there, Doug, but I will shortly, that's for sure.
Well, do you want me to have a sip? Come on.
No. It'll still be there. It'll still be there.
You still get paid, John. Brenton Otter, how are you?
I'm still cold. Still very cold.
I don't think I've known it colder, actually. We don't want to put a dampener on the whole thing and make it all sound so negative, but the reality is it is cold here today.
That's it, Doug.
The Panthers now desperately need to get an opening goal in this third quarter and just get the momentum, at least get the momentum of winning possession of the ball and being first at the footy. This time they've managed to send it about 60 metres forward just by hustle and bustle. Centrals have picked up possession now and through McCabe, chipped the ball back in the direction of their forward line where Chris Gowans storms out, wins the handball to Scholar. Scholar dribbles a kick forward over the head of Robbie Forster Knight. Luke Cowan coming out, can't trap the ball, neither can Kane Officer. Cowan back in again, gets a handball of sorts out to James Gowans. Clever kick forward to the advantage of his vice-captain, and Heath Hopwood can't pick the ball up on the first occasion, does on the second occasion, throws it on the boot. Bello playing in front, gets the ball spoiled. Back in the direction of Luke Cowan, his handball at the ankles of McCabe, gives it back to Cowan, who kicks it out of bounds on the full for the opening attacking foray for the Bulldogs in this third quarter. Brenton Honor.
Yeah, they're just the Panthers just aren't attacking the footy there. There was two examples there, like Daly just come off the ball and watch Cowan hit that last contest, and even like Jared Bennett, an experienced AFL player, did exactly the same there. So they just obviously haven't got that presence in mind, and that commitment to the footy, which they need.
2.5 minutes gone in the third quarter. Have a sip of coffee, please, John. I'll turn your fader down so that we don't hear you. It's Central District 7-10-52, leading South 1 goal 3-9. Just waiting for the ball to come back in. Here it is. Gets about 30-40 metres with the kick into the breeze, which is not a bad sort of a kick. Clinton King on the bottom of the pack went with a hand pass there. Not terribly effective, though. Will be picked up by McCabe. He runs around a couple of players. Hand passes back. Oh, there's an auto pro. Golden Grove, courageous play. Big Matty Clark fighting for it on the ground. He was the one who put the head down and went in hard to get it. Comes out, though, to McCabe. Centres the ball. Up goes Jared Bennett, though, for South Adelaide, and takes a good, strong chest mark in front of the pack there that was emerging. And so he's got this in the defensive 40 metres in the back, 40 in the back, 50 in fact now. He's going to go short. It's a very, very short kick, and the mark has been taken here by Tucky, who is a fair way down from centre half forward. In fact, all the South players are. In fact, there's hardly a player on the attacking side of centre for South. Down towards the wing he goes. That is a very, very good attempt to mark. I reckon the umpy could have almost played it in these conditions. Didn't perhaps have quite control of it, and so there is going to be a ball up. So the margin 43 points. It's the Crazy Johns match of the day. Central's in front. We'll go around the grounds in just a few moments, but John Simons take over.
Heath Hopwood now sends the Bulldogs inside 50. The Panthers have some numbers back there. One of them is Nagel and also Haitley, but Cowan is able to win possession. Bellows drop back loose in the square. If Officer can get the ball to him, he couldn't. That was the goal square I was referring to, not the centre square, and eventually the ball is trickled over the boundary line. One of a boundary throw-in from about 20 metres from the Bulldogs' goal, and one thing at least South Adelaide are able to do at the moment is nullify the Bulldogs' scoring. Not winning great or sometimes first possession themselves, but they have managed to put a hold on the scoreboard for the moment, which is important to give them any chance with the breeze in this last quarter. But the Bulldogs will score now as we see a free kick paid in the back here against Davis and going to James Gowans.
Waiting now for James Gowans to come in and kick for goal. He's normally a lovely kick for goal. He's one of the best kicks in the competition, as we all know. And a chance now to extend this lead further. 5 minutes have gone in the quarter, so we'll go around the grounds after this one. Just wait for him to line up. James Gowans. He's played well today. There's the kick for goal. That looks as straight as a die. Has not made a mistake with that. 1 goal, 2 for James Gowans. And on the Crazy John scoreboard, Central District go further ahead. 8 goals, 10-58. Leading South Adelaide, 1 goal, 3-9. My mate at work, Ian Bone. You will be delighted, Boney. If you listen to this broadcast, you'll be all smiles, I know, as we go around the grounds. National Wireless two-way radios. And first up at Unley, Ben Pittman.
About 15 minutes into the third quarter here, and it's the Eagles by 54 points. It's an absolute flogging at the moment. The Eagles 11 goals, 8, 74, leading Sturt 3 goals, 2, 20, leading by 54 points. Now let's throw it down to Daniel Beatty at Alberton.
Thanks, Bennett. There's a 6-minute mark down here at Alberton. It's Port Adelaide 7-10, 52 by 17 points. Glenelg 5-5, 35. Now let's go over to Richmond Oval with Peter Byrne.
Looks like there might be a little problem or two there as Central's fire away at goal. It's one of the Gowans boys. It was Chris that time. Good on you. Thank you for that one, John. It's Chris Gowans this time who kicks a goal. It's his first for the afternoon. And Central District move it on to 9 goals, 10-64. The Panthers, South Adelaide, 1 goal, 3-9. And keep in mind, too, that Central's are 7th on the ladder at the moment. South Adelaide is 2nd. It's an amazing result, this one. We've played 6 minutes into the quarter, and Central's doing everything right. Brenton Honor.
Yeah, well, I think the Panthers now have just got to just start manning up, apart from anything else, and just try to at least sort of nullify this little purple patch the Centrals are having at the moment, and just just try to then impact their own performance on the game.
Clark and Scholar at it again in the middle. The clearance is taken away by Chris Hall for South Adelaide. Alan Davey, a couple of juggles on a mark, unable to complete it. James Gowans tries to take the ball one-handed, difficult today and unable to control it. and eventually it's turned over now, and Clinton King sends the Panthers inside 50. Chris Hall running back with some enormous courage from Auto Pro at Golden Grove. A wonderful, courageous play, and also at the same time, Doug, I'd suggest a nomination for the Mr. Clip Mark of the Day. Chris Hall doing a wonderful solo effort there, won the clearance himself from the middle of the ground, charged forward inside 50 and running with the flight of the ball, took a wonderful diving chest mark, and will now have a shot on goal from about 30 metres out on the outer side of the ground. But it is a tricky shot with the breeze shaping against him as it is today. Normally a lovely kick of the ball though, and that one, whilst being a nice kick, is also a 6-pointer, which is exactly what the Panthers were needing. Wonderful piece of individual and inspirational play there from the Panther follower Chris Hall, and the Panthers now move on to 2 goals 3-15. Central's a 9-10-64, and Brenton Honor, that is a goal against the flow of play.
Yeah, it is, and one it's an understatement, they need it. But yeah, Hawley then just committed his body, and then I hope a few of his teammates can sort of take a little bit of lesson from that. And it would be the most powerful kick in the side, so that was a good result from about 40 metres out.
One of the few times I think we can say that it was a contender for the goal of the day and the mark of the day and the courageous play of the day all in one.
He's won the treble.
The only thing he didn't do was go around the grounds. But we do have an AFL score right now, I think. Yes, Gavin.
No, we don't, Doug. Richmond's okay. We want to go to Peter.
Oh, OK, we're all set there, so we'll go down there in a moment. As a big, long shot for goal, Paul Scholar has kicked a gem. This one from 60 metres out, and the breeze just carried that. There's another contender for a TJM Serious four-wheel drive goal of the day. Central District 10-10-70, leading South 2-3-15. We've played 8.5 minutes into the quarter. We'll go entirely around the grounds now so that we can get Peter's score too. First up at Unley, here's Ben Pittman.
Yeah, thanks. It's about 20 minutes into the quarter, and Sturt cannot buy a goal. They're behind by 52 points. The Eagles are leading 11-8, 74, leading Sturt 3 goals for 22, about 20 minutes into the third quarter. Now we'll throw it down to Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Down here at Alberton, Clive Waterhouse just kicked the goal from 50 out. And they now lead 8-11-59 to Glenelg 5-5-35. Let's go down now to Peter Byrne at Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. Hopefully I'm here, but it's Norwood 7-4-46, lead West Adelaide 2-7-19, and that's at the 14-minute mark. Now it's back to the board at Noarlunga.
And another goal, it seems.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Daniel Shell.
Daniel Shell has kicked his second goal for the afternoon. He's kicked 2 goals, 1 and 3 out of bounces. How about that? He's a dangerous player, though, a wonderful player. 11-10 Central, 76, leading South Adelaide 2-3-15. It is the Crazy John scoreboard, and the chorus has already started. Are they singing too soon, Brenton Honor?
No, I don't believe, Doug. It's going to take an enormous effort for South Adelaide now to get back into this game, never alone be in a position they can win it.
Back in the centre now, Matthew Clark again for the Panthers, going up against Scholar, the kicker of a 60-metre goal just a moment or two ago, and Clark wins it with a double-handed backflip tap to Chris Hall. And Chris Hall now eventually takes possession after a Ben Newbury handball, sends a kick laterally. Scotty Webb chasing after it, as is Marco Bello. Webb will be forced to go off the ground and does so defensively to the boundary line. Didn't have any choice there, Scotty Webb, but did actually get to the contest first there, Brenton Honor.
I think it's indicative of how South Adelaide are playing there. There was like Scotty Webb running towards a loose ball. There's 3 Central players around him. 2 of his teammates actually peeled off to get the handball. Like poor old Webby was never going to be in a position to win that ball.
Hanby now, a player who takes possession of the ball and again finds the boundary line as the ball bounces in front of Craig Parry, who's waiting there to come back into the contest at the moment. We have crossed over the 10.5-minute mark in the third quarter here at Noarlunga Oval, the Crazy Johns match of the day, and the Panthers trail on their home deck by 61 points against the reigning premiers, Central Districts. Daniel Healy tried to get a jump at that one and just got blocked from doing so. Eventually, Steinburner picked it up at ground level. Bello takes the handball and is tackled well by Kenner, unable to affect any significant advantageous possession for his side. Eventually, Clinton King picks it up for the Panthers, sends it forward through the agency of his left foot. Richard Cochran picks up the crumb, goes with a sharp reflex handball back to Tyson Hay, who's under enormous pressure. The ball's turned over, picked up by Davey now for South Adelaide, gets it on to Chris Hall, who amongst the puddles sends a kick in the direction of Warren. Warren takes the mark, plays on eventually, straight away instinctively, gets himself into some trouble, gets it on the left boot. Tucky from behind, can't take the mark. Warren follows up his own work to pick up the crumb, gets a second shot at it, but can't affect a possession on either occasion, and the ball will turn over back again to Central Districts as Bradley Symes was the player who took possession of the ball and was tackled high, and will be able to relieve the pressure there for Central Districts. And in actual fact, there's been a 50-metre penalty, perhaps for mouthing off. It may have been Michael Davis was in the vicinity, not saying it was him, but Brendan Otter, perhaps a sign of the South Adelaide discipline today that we've been seeing.
Yeah, and Michael Davis actually does, show signs of that. He does get frustrated. He's had another quiet day today and doesn't like that sort of constant physical attention. And if he's not getting the footy, this is what he's loath to do, unfortunately. That's not helping his side at the moment.
Symes with the resultant free kick, gives it over to Marco Bello. His kick is unusually average, really, and drops in the arms of Craig Parry. But the Panthers' kick has been smothered and turned back over. Scholar to Arnott. Arnott will send the Bulldogs inside 50 again. Daniel Shell got about 5 or 6 metres in front of Jared Bennett, but unable to take the ball cleanly, and the Panthers will relieve now. Tommy Haitley gets the kick out to the direction of Heath Hopwood. He's got about 5 or 10 metres there on Benny Newbury, but neither player will be able to get to the ball before it traverses over the boundary line and goes out of bounds for another boundary throw-in. 61-point lead, the advantage to the Bulldogs. 13 minutes gone, the Crazy Johns match of the day.
I'm just wondering if there's any possibility of South being able to appeal against the light, because it's pretty dull at the moment down here, isn't it? Not just their scoreboard, but it is very, very dull. Bring the lights on. Daniel Healy's got the ball. He's caught with it. Got it out eventually to Bello. Kicks the ball high in the air. It's right up in about 30 metres out from the Central District goal. Will be taken away by South's McGlone. Gets a hurried kick in. A kick off the ground this time by Daly. He covered about 40 metres with that, which was quite amazing into the breeze. Comes out now to Newbury. He's going to be pounced on there by McCabe. Got the ball out to Davey. Davey now with a nice looking kick out towards the wingers. Found Chrissy Hall all by himself. On the grandstand side, Chris Hall, lovely kick of the football, and that is a beautiful, well-weighted kick there. He's going to find Davis. Didn't take the mark, but recovered nicely. Kicks up towards the teeth of goal. Up went Warren. Couldn't take the mark. It's about 40 metres out from the south goal, and a free kick to be played here to a Central District defender.
Richie
and it
Cochran.
looks like the dark-headed Richard Cochran. I think you're right there, John. As that was quite well done too, sipping the coffee and still coming out with a Cochran.
How'd it go, Doug?
Something like that. Did it well.
Sound like another one of your Star Wars characters there.
You and I, the only people in Adelaide that've never seen a Star Wars movie.
Still haven't seen it.
No, not yet. No.
Not high on the priorities, but
no, goodness me.
But give me Caddyshack any day.
Just don't start quoting it.
As the ball to come back in now, about 20 metres from the northern goal, the end to which the home side, the Panthers, are kicking to this quarter against a pretty stiff breeze. Parry from behind over the top of Scholar gets the tap down, but it's Centrals who take the takeaway through. Nathan Steinburner going back with some auto-pro courageous play is Scotty Webb there, but unable to take the mark, and eventually South will go forward through Tim Fleming in the direction of Alwyn Davey. He's outnumbered in a 1-on-4 there, and numbers went out, and Centrals relieve the pressure through Matthew Slade, who gets the ball out there to McCabe. McCabe to Arnott, who goes back to McCabe. His kick is well smothered there by Timmy Fleming, and Daly is able to pick up the possession for South Adelaide. Gets the ball in the direction of Parry. His handball may have turned over here. Yes, it has. It's been picked off by James Gowans. Gowans to McCabe. He's looking for someone to run past him to take the handball. Thankfully for him, Simon Arnott does just that. Sends the ball towards, I think it's Officer there in a wrestling contest against McGlone. Neither player takes the mark. Centrals go back inside 50. Daniel Shell on a long lead and a wide lead out to the scoreboard, where the kick from Officer has gone out of bounds on the full, and the resultant free kick will go to the South Adelaide defender in Jared Bennett.
We've got a margin here of, let's see, goodness me, it's 61 points at the moment. We've played 16 minutes of the third quarter. I think we might go around the grounds just while the ball is being brought back in. And for National Wireless Two-Way Radio, Ben Pittman at Unley.
About 25 minutes into the third quarter here, and it's the Eagles up by 54. Now 48 points. Sturt have kicked their first goal for nearly 2 quarters. The Eagles are up now by 48 points. The Eagles 11 goals, 10, 76, leading Sturt 4 goals, 4, 28. About 25 minutes into the third quarter. Now it's right down to Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
Yeah, thanks, Bennett. 17-minute mark down here at Alberton. It's put Adelaide 9, 13, 67, leading Melbourne 20 points, 7, 5, 47. Over to you, Peter at Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. It's Norwood by 38 points. Norwood 9-4-58. Lead West Adelaide 2-8-20. Now it's back to the boys at Noarlunga.
And back here at Noarlunga, Benny Warren has a long shot for goal, kicking into that breeze. He's off target. That'll be his first score for the afternoon, but I reckon there's been some encouraging signs from him in this quarter. Probably the best quarter South have played, in all honesty. But Central's dominating the game. 11 goals, 10, 76. South Adelaide just 2-4, 16 the margin, 60 points. We've played 17 minutes into the third quarter, and it's one of the Gowans boys who's got the kick. It is James Gowans. Very hard to tell, isn't it, when they look straight at you? But what a wonderful game he's played today. James Gowans just waiting for his options. Got it across the half-back line. He's on the defensive 50, and he comes. He's going to go short with this one and find Hollywood Hopwood. Heath Hopwood now across half-back. The vice-captain. Captain of the stateside this year, and well-deserved too. He drops the ball in short on the long sleeve. Tyson Hay. That wonderful left footer for Central District. He's given them great service over the last few years. This is his 94th game, and that's a lovely kick up towards centre-half forward. Cowan had the front position, couldn't take the mark, came out to Shell, went with a hand pass over the shoulder. It lands back on the hands of Cowan. He's taken to the ground. Umpire says a free kick to South Adelaide, and it's taken by Fleming. South Adelaide, some nice build-up now, but no one to go to as Tucky took the mark near the centre.
Tucky gets the handball off to McGlone. McGlone a long direct kick towards the centre-half forward area where Benny Warren, jumping from behind, has got into the back of Symes for Central Districts, and he'll take the free kick. Affects the smother though pretty well, does Benny Warren. Just having a little purple patch here, perhaps the South Adelaide spearhead. If he can just take a couple of marks inside 50 and impact on the scoreboard, would be just what Coach Robert Pyman and the Panther supporters would want from him right now. They trail by 60 points at the moment. 9 goals, 6 is the margin, totaling 60 points. A ball up on the half-forward line for the Panthers. Davey in amongst the pack of players there, as is Steinburner. Gowans for Central Districts, James, that is. It will get a free kick towards the Central District. Michael Hanby, it is, against Central Districts there. He's played on, perhaps unnecessarily so, under some pressure from Gowans. Turn the ball over. Steinburner now will get the ball over to Bello, who's got some space in front of him. Well, he did have some space, but for the handball directed to his ankles, and Bello puts a kick out in the direction of Chris Gowans, and coming from a long way away to affect the ball there is Tim Fleming. Some grunts and groans in the background. Brenton on it.
Oh, just no awareness. Like Michael Hamby then, earned himself a free kick. He's only 50 out, and like South, as you quite rightly said, are playing a little bit better here, and just sort of stepped over the mark and played on and got caught, and just a really bad turnover.
The ball in now at the 19-minute mark of the third quarter here. The Crazy Johns match of the day, the outer side of the ground. I'll take this one for you, Doug, as we have a restart and play, and now you can go for it.
I hope you would have stayed with it, John, actually, because it's a long way from here. And it's not the prettiest passage of play either.
Happy to take it for you, my friend. No worries at all. As Scholar gets the tap down now in front of another pack of players there. Amongst them is Officer for Central Districts. A couple of players there. James Gowans, Chris Gowans. I can see Damasi. Can't see a lot more as the light is starting to dim here. Only in the latter stages of the third quarter of the contest here at Noarlunga Oval. The Crazy Johns match of the day for Life FM. The free kick won by Scholar, gets the handball over to Bello, sends the ball, a tumble punt inside 50. Daniel Shell leading out, can't take the mark, gets to it first at ground level now as Robbie Forster Knight with his head over the ball. He's pounced upon by 3 Bulldogs, all with their arms up in the air, yelling for the holding the ball decision, perhaps indicative of the contest here, with more Central's players at that contest than Panther players, and that's why they lead on the scoreboard by 60 points. The Scholar comes in again and wins another tap-out. Officer in front of McGlone at the moment, goes to ground. It was always in danger of getting trapped holding the ball when doing that, and Scotty Webb will get the relieving kick for the Panthers, searches for the boundary line, and there's been a free kick paid here behind play against Chris Gowans. A bit of byplay there with Nagel behind play, and the free kick will go to the Panthers further up the ground, and they make about 45 metres before the ball goes out of bounds, and the siren goes. Well, it sounded like a siren, though.
No, it was actually somebody's baby crying out for a drink.
Goodness, that sounded like a siren.
You're just hoping, Simon.
No, that's just
I'm not 100%, but tell me that was a siren.
There was actually another Star Wars sound effect. As the action now with Newbury couldn't put the ball. Play is still going on. Players have not heard what John Simons has heard, and there is still plenty of action here. 21 minutes of the quarter gone.
You sure that wasn't a siren?
No, it wasn't
only
a siren.
Oval it was.
Unless, of course, they've extended the Glenelg tram down here.
Well, it's obviously the passing train going by or something.
Obviously.
It did stop a game at Elizabeth last year, didn't it? It was the end of the match. Centrals and Sturt, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was last year. Yeah. It's a 60-point margin at the moment in favour of Central District. We've played 21 and a half minutes of the third quarter. Umpire watching the action. Umpire Richard Williams very, very close to the boundary line on the centre wing. It's on the grandstand side, so the supporters get a little bit vocal when it's that close to the action, and there is going to be a ball up once again. We'll go around the grounds again in just a few moments. There's the tap out there affected by the youngster playing his first game. Number 16, Andrew Borden. We wish him well, but again, it's out of bounds. There will be another throw-in. Central's 11-10, 76. South 2-4-16. Around the grounds now. Let's see how we're going at Unley. Here's Ben Pittman.
Three-quarter time here at Unley, and it's the Eagles up by 54 points. The Eagles 12 goals, 10-82, leading Sturt 4 goals, 4-28. At three-quarter time by a margin of 54 points. Now we'll throw it down to Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Down here at Alberton, it's put out by 26 points, 11-13-79 to Glenelg, 8-5-53. Let's now go down to Peter at Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. It's 27-minute mark here. It's Norwood leading 9-4-58 to Westies 4-8-32. Now it's back to the boys at Noarlunga.
Okay, and while we're going around the grounds, Gavin, let's take another AFL update.
Thanks, Doug. 23 minutes in the last quarter. Looks like the Eagles are going to win this one, Doug, and stay on top. 15-15, 105 to Melbourne, 11-12-78. 27-point margin in favour of the Eagles.
And back here at Noarlunga, the Life FM match of the day for station sponsors Crazy John's. A throw-in to take place on the centre wing. It's big Jason McKenzie doing battle here. Newbury was up there. Parry was up there too, trying to barge his way through. He's got a lot of strength. Still hoping to play AFL football. He's only 21 years of age. It seems like he's been around longer than that. Boy coming across from Subiaco, and a good story on him too in today's football budget. But after all that, it's all been locked up, and the umpire says it is going to be mine. Another ball up, and I think it's going to beat all players across the boundary line, and I think there'll be a free kick, and that's a good decision. Oh, that's not nice. Scotty Webb had the free kick and is going to have it reversed, and I think that's not a bad decision either. He was frustrated by the whole thing, and one of the Gowans boys came up and said, Scotty, that's not the way to do it. And so Luke McCabe has got the free kick there after giving away the initial free kick, and Centrals go forward here through Mackenzie into centre half for John Simons.
The siren imminent here at Noarlunga Oval as Chris Hall taken high in a tackle there by Taylor. The umpire says play on. The home side will have a chance here to go forward now as Davis picks up the ball, goes in the direction of Tucky, who leads Sibonala to this one, and then gains about 30 metres for his side, and the ball goes over the boundary line. But we'll take the opportunity to get a comment here from Brendan Honor. That piece of play involving Scotty Webb, how did you see it?
Oh, well, he had the free, didn't he? There was no need for him to react like that. And Central's are best in the business of sucking opposition players in as well, and that's what happened then. And Scott sort of, reversed that free kick that, they didn't need to give up as easily as that.
The restart in play now. The tap won by McKenzie down to the advantage of Slade. His handball is errant whilst being tackled there, and wrapped up is a couple of players there, one of them being the debutant for Central in Michael Taylor. Eventually the ball sent forward for the Panthers in the direction of Warren. He's unable to effect a mark. Picked up by Tucky, a snap over his shoulder at ground level. Wonderful effort. That is a TJM serious four-wheel drive goal of the day performance there from South Adelaide centre half forward and Brent Tucky. Well done as he kicks his second goal for the day. A wonderful effort it was. And the Panthers now move on to 3 goals, 4-22, trailing Central Districts, who are 11-10-76. A 54-point margin. Brendan Honor, a wonderful goal then from Tucky.
It was. He's been pretty good all day, hasn't he? Just competed, and he does that. He does that really well, Brent Tucky. He just always provides a contest for his teammates. If he doesn't mark it, he won't get out-marked and bring the ball to the front square position, where if those peripheral players in the midfield are playing under instructions, that's where they should be, and that was a fantastic goal for him. 24, South would like it that way, but it's 54 points the margin. 25 and a half minutes gone in the third quarter. The kick by South down towards half forward, but Heath Hopwood, the vice-captain for Centrals, has taken a good mark. Kicks down now towards the wing. It's in fact carried all the way to half forward. Steinberner's in there. The long sleeve Steinberner. He'll get away. No, he won't. He's caught. Got a hand pass out eventually, though, and a lot of tackles being applied there, and the umpire comes in and says, it is going to be mine. Outer side of the ground, midway between
half forward in the wing. Central's in attack. They lead by 54 points. 11-10, 76 South Adelaide, 3-4-22. As we approach three-quarter time, Central's trying to get possession once again. There's a hand pass that came up, but South got the ball away there. The boy looked, may have been King, goes down towards the half-forward line. Kick off the ground by Kenner, who's been fairly quiet today. Central's trying to run the ball out of defence. South forwards are working overtime, trying to keep it in. It was Hopwood who got the hand pass away there to his teammate in Sibanala, but I think it's going to go across the line and out on the full. Yes, it has, on the outer side of the ground, and that breeze has just come up so much more stronger than it has been, I think, for the rest of the day. I'm looking at the trees swaying around the ground, and it's a stiff old breeze, John Simons.
It's a very strong breeze, and you're right, it's just picked up a little bit there. They're favouring the Central District's end at the moment, but they can't do much with it when they don't have possession of the ball in their hand. And at the moment, South Adelaide's Michael Hanby has just that. Won the mark and a 25-metre penalty. Sends the Panthers inside 50, looking for the long lead of Warren, but the kick won't get that far in a day like today. And chipping in front of him, where all smart ruckmen should be, is Jason McKenzie for the Bulldogs. He's going to try something, or it's McKenzie now that's got it, I'm sorry, it was Sibanala able to take the mark, and the Bulldogs are going to switch play now over through the agency of Daniel Shell, who's a long way down from full forward. Shell gets the ball through to Hopwood. Hopwood is going to go backwards to McKenzie in a handball, and the play's just standing still for just a moment, looking for Hay, a dangerous one in board. May have turned over here if Davey can pick the ball up. No, Tyson Hay does well to knock it forward towards Steinburner. Newbury throws one up to Davis. Davis throws it on the boot, and eventually Tyson Hay taps it forward again to the advantage of Taylor for Central. Sticks it on his boot, but it's all South Adelaide. Camp back there in a smart position was Brent Tucky to get himself in between the ball and the Central District's forwards. He's relieved the pressure for South Adelaide out towards Damasi. Damasi trapped the ball well, but was also tackled well, as was Jason McKenzie for Central Districts. And we will have a ball up across the half-forward line for the Panthers, kicking against the breeze in this third quarter and trailing by 54 points.
It's 11-10, 76 to South, 3-4-22, 28 minutes of the third quarter has gone. We'll go around the grounds again in just a few moments, fellas, and see how it's all going there. We know it's three-quarter time at Unley, with the Eagles having a convincing lead over Sturt. But the action at the moment on the half-forward line here for South Adelaide, Parry and McKenzie. But coming in over the top there might have been Borton, or it was actually Heath Hopwood, the half-back flanker, the ruck rover, where he likes to play too. But the action now on the half-forward line for South. A tap-out, though, comes out here in the direction of Chris Gowans. He picks the ball up, does it beautifully. Lovely two-sided play onto his left foot on this occasion. Gets it across here, may have been Slade, in towards the half-forward line. The ball bounces awkwardly, but trapped nicely by the player there in Daney. Got it across to Newbury with his left foot. He's a natural left footer in towards centre half forward, and the mark is taken by Chris Hall. He was held by the Central's player, but managed to get the hand pass away to Michael Davis. He's got a player on the lead, a magnificent kick, and a good lead too from Betty Warren. He's taken the mark. Or is it Matthew Smith? It is Matthew Smith. Yes, I beg your pardon. Both got blonde hair, and it is going to be Matthew Smith lining up now from around about 30 metres out, I reckon. It's a bit hard to judge from here because we're on the half-forward line at the other end of the ground. But he'll have this shot for goal after the siren, you know.
That's the second siren of this quarter. Are we having the drinks break today? The
no. Yeah, that was the cold drink.
Yeah, the cold drink.
In comes Smith. There's his kick for goal.
Missed.
Just off target with that one. I was just going to say, if he could have put that one through, you know, I know it would have made the difference 8 goals, but with the breeze the way it is, this game's not over yet. It's not over yet.
No, well, Doug, probably the last 15 minutes was South's most productive for the day. Like, they really...
Why not simply call David Fricker, an authorised representative of Capstone Financial Planning? With over 20 years in financial planning, station sponsor Capstone Financial Planning can help. Learn more. Phone 8223 4822. Financial service licence number 223135.
What do small business owners say about Cashflow Manager?
Christine Marriott of Marriott's Transport says, as for GST, what a breeze. One hit of a key and the totals are all ready to be written on the BAS statement. Malene Clapham says, being a novice computer person and a busy courier truck driver, I find it all so clear. Kay Whalen says, I am absolutely delighted with the simplicity and efficiency.
Find out more about station sponsor Cashflow Manager by calling 1300 887868 or go to cashflow-manager.com.
Okay, try again. Funky Flowers.
Monkey flowers.
Close, it's Funky Flowers.
Funky flowers.
What's happening here?
Joy loves what you've done with Funky Flowers in the patio so much that she's asking for more, and I'm getting her to say it right.
Oh, go on, Joy. Funky Flowers.
Funky flowers.
Station sponsor Funky Flower Packs. They're absolutely beautiful. Look for the purple packs today.
Well, we've just got underway on the final quarter here at Noarlunga, and South Adelaide have kicked the first goal. It was Alwyn Davey, after his brother kicked 4 goals for Melbourne today. He's kicked his first goal for South Adelaide today, and South are going forward again. They trail by a pretty big margin still. They're only 4-5-29. Central District 11-10-76. So the margin there is 47 points. It's the Crazy John scoreboard, but maybe I'm saying it for the sake of the Panther supporters and not trying to sort of make the Bulldog supporters anxious or anything like that, but I don't think the game is over yet, because we've got a 5 or 6 goal breeze, and who knows what can happen. South is a very, very good team. They've played below par today, but full marks to Centrals for the way they've played. They've got a free kick on the half-back line, have Centrals at the moment, through Cochrane, goes down towards the wing. Up go Big Pack in there. Looks to be a good, strong pack mark taken there, and it is too. The boy on the outer side of the ground is Cowan. How you going, John? You with it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just Luke Cowan been looking for that, or Brenton Honda been looking for that all day from him, and good to see a key forward bobbing up like that, Brenton.
Yes, about time. He was due for a grab, wasn't he? It was a good, strong.
South Adelaide defending stoutly now. Hanby and McGlone there at that contest, and the ball dribbles over the boundary line. And yes, it's cold, Doug, but we are soldiering on. No problem at all here. Hoping to see a Panther fight back here in the last quarter to put some real excitement into this contest in the last quarter. 47 points is the deficit at the moment. 2.5 minutes into the final quarter. Craig Parry picks the ball up for the Panthers, dribbles one defensively out of the 50-metre arc there from the Bulldogs' goal square, and dribbles it over the boundary line. Having to defend on that occasion, the Panthers would want to avoid playing wide and near the boundary line as often as possible this quarter, Brenton, on to try and give themselves ample opportunity to score.
Yeah, they've really got to get it over this grandstand side, don't they? That's been the best avenue of attack all day.
Yep.
And but importantly, like, South are winning some of these 50-50 balls here, and as Doug said before, like, we just we need the Panthers to get a couple here just to fire everyone up.
Absolutely paramount they get away from the outer side of the ground there. On this occasion, though, the kick inboard in trying to do that has been picked up by Matthew Slade for the Bulldogs. Slade will send the Dogs inside 50. Daniel Shell storming out all by himself. Not sure what happened to Jared Bennett there, whether he just lost him, but he gave him, I think about 10 or 15 metres there, Doug, a bit too much space. And Daniel Shell, such an intrinsic part of this Central District forward line, would line up for goal now from about 40 metres out, kicking towards the northern goal. Distance will be somewhat difficult into this breeze, but he does strike the leather very well on most occasions. As a spectator behind takes what I think was a photograph, perhaps with a digital camera, of this potential kick from Daniel Shell, which is slewed off the right-hand side of the boot and misses out to the right. It's going to land in play. There's a marking contest there, no one able to mark. A difficult ball in these conditions, and South Adelaide through Nagel defensively head towards the boundary line again, with a ball dribbles over the boundary line without any score added to the Crazy John scoreboard, which reads South Adelaide 4-5-29, Central Districts 11-10-76, 4.5 minutes into the final stanza at Noarlunga Oval.
We'll go around the grounds again in just a few moments. It looks like the Eagles will take the points over Sturt, but anything can happen in these conditions. It's so windy in Adelaide today. I'm saying that mainly for the sake of those on the net. If you're living in Adelaide, you know exactly what I am saying. And the action at the moment deep in the forward pocket here for Central District. The backdrop there of the Colonnade Shopping Centre. Big plans there over the next few years too, with redevelopment and extensions and so forth. As a flock of seagulls go past us. You normally see them at Adelaide Oval, I know, in the cricket season. Perhaps they're reminding us that Australia take on Bangladesh tonight. I'll be looking forward to watching a bit of that, John.
And against England tomorrow night.
And against England tomorrow night, that's right. We haven't all that fared that well over there so far, have we?
Wimbledon starts on Monday. I'm not sure we're going to get our sleep over the next couple of weeks, though.
US Open's on too?
Yeah, that's coming up. Yeah,
no, it's on.
Oh, the US Open's on, correct?
Yeah.
You're correct, yeah.
British
Open golf.
And the action at the moment's on
too. And the Noarlunga Oval, yeah.
It's down here at Noarlunga Oval, and South Adelaide are going forward. A promising forward thrust, but I think it's going to be thwarted by Luke McCabe, the former Hawthorn player, the Hamley Bridge farmer. No, he hasn't got it. Picked up by Michael Davis. He's had a poor day today. We know he's a wonderful possession winner for South Adelaide. The ball at the moment is all locked up in the centre of the ground. Umpire comes in and says it's going to be mine. Our next scorer, when there's a stoppage in play, will go around the grounds. At the moment, Central's 11-10-76, leading South Adelaide 4-5-29. 5 3/4 minutes gone in the final quarter. Umpire Richard Williams says that someone was held there, and there will be a free kick, and Chris Gowan's getting up at the bottom of that pack, and he's got the free kick. It's going to be hard to do a 3-2-1 at the end of this game, I must admit. Today we might even give it a miss, John.
He's gone short though, Doug. He's gone laterally to Slade, who does the same to Richie Cochran, trying to play a possession game here. Cochran off one step, tried to affect a pretty difficult kick in the direction of young Borden, unable to do so, but Daniel Healy picked up possession. Playing in front is Cowan, and has won the free kick, just about won the mark, but won the free kick there, playing in front of Tommy Haitley, and Cowan will line up for goal. Will attempt to line up from goal from about 35 metres out on a rather tricky angle, but whether he can get the journey from there or not remains to be seen. Kicking into the teeth of a fairly strong breeze, the wind will move reasonably sharply for him and take it a little bit from the left to the right. Luke Cowan, the drop of the ball, all important here. The timing as he comes in, doesn't use up all his yardage and kicks it straight, but doesn't kick it anywhere near far enough to score. And eventually South Adelaide have won possession here, looking to relieve pressure. They're unable to do so as the ball is mopped up eventually by Haitley. He'll send a long clearing ball out of the back half as the rain starts to tumble down. That ball was searching for the boundary line. Richie Cochran helps it over, and the rain does tumble down, which will only help Central Districts at this stage. That will help them defend their 47-point lead even more stoutly. Doug Oakley.
7.5 minutes gone in the final quarter. As you said, John, a 47-point advantage to Centrals as we go around the grounds for National Wireless two-way radio. At Unley, here's Ben Pittman.
About 17 minutes into the final quarter here, and the Eagles are out to a 60-point lead. The Eagles 14 goals, 12, 96, leading the Double Blues 5 goals, 6, 36, about 17 minutes into the final quarter. Now I'll throw it down to Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Down at Alberton, it's about the 10-minute mark, and it's Port Adelaide by 33 points. 13-15, 93, leading Glenelg 9-6, 60. Let's now go to Peter Byrne at Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. It's Norwood 11-4, lead West Adelaide 4-9, so it's back to Noarlunga. Thanks.
And back here, conditions have got actually, this is about the worst they've been today, I think, because it's sort of like a misty rain that's coming down from the north, and it's coming straight into the grandstand. It actually gets underneath the roof, and
Yeah, Doug, you've got to hand it to those people on the outer side of the ground there. They're stuck in there all day.
Well, I think they're protected, actually. They're probably looking at us saying, the fools. We're getting protected by the mound over there, but us here in the grandstand, we're copping it right in the face, aren't we?
It'd be pretty tough to call the action from there, though, I'd suggest.
I'm happy up here. Actually, conditions for broadcasting at Noarlunga Oval are absolutely superb, and many thanks to the South Adelaide people too for those lovely party pies and pasties that came out earlier, and the beautiful salad sandwiches. They just went just before you got here,
yes,
Brendan
many
and John.
thanks to you, Doug, for saving some for us.
Yeah. Wish you were here.
The restart in play now as the clock ticks over to the 9-minute mark. The last quarter of the Crazy Johns match of the day sees a free kick going here to the Panthers, to Clinton King. It is pushed in the back there with a tackle there by Bradley Symes from Central, and King to send the Panthers towards their 50-metre line, looking for Tucky. He's not quite going to get to this contest. Tyson Hay punches it forward. Chris Gowans tries to gather possession, knocks it to the advantage of Ben Newbury, sends South Adelaide inside 50. Warren nor Parry, neither can get to that marking contest. The ball bouncing before them, and the Central defenders there in the form of McKenzie and Off to Hyde able to help the ball over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in for the Panthers inside their 50-metre attacking zone for the first time in about 3 or 4 minutes now, about 25 metres out from goal. They need to capitalise on this opportunity and pop one straight through the big stick straight away. But McKenzie doesn't want to let him do that, but that's a free kick. He's punched the ball back, looking to get it back to the boundary line, but he punched it over on the full. A recent initiative or a new rule in the competition these days. If you punch the ball over the boundary line from a boundary throw-in on the full, it is exactly the same as kicking it on the full, and it is a free kick, and Alwyn Davey has won this one for the Panthers. And from what we saw him do earlier in the day from this spot, he will just pop this out to the left-hand post and allow this just to drift back, let the wind do the work for him, and drift back nicely through for a goal to the Panthers. Here he goes, pops it out there. It's not quite going to have the legs. The wind was starting to do the work, but it didn't have enough power in the kick, surprisingly enough, and Central defenders able to pretty simply thump it over the goal line for a rush behind to South Adelaide. They move on to 4 goals 6 30, trailing the Bulldogs, who are 11-10-76. The restart in play now. Tyson Hay kicks the ball out to Richie Cochrane, who takes the mark about 30 metres defensively out from the South Adelaide goal. Cochrane goes wide out to the outer side of the ground. A pack of players there sees a crumb come to Davey. Tap back in the direction there for South Adelaide. Back to Davey it comes to now again. Symes gets a rush kick for Central Districts outside defensive 50. Parry Clark is playing in front, unable to win the ball or a free kick. Central Districts just inching the ball forward now as they can closer to their goal. Eventually Bennett receives the handball for South Adelaide. His errant handball in the direction of Tucky doesn't help out his teammate. Again, a soccer from South Adelaide in the direction of Hanby. Has some space in front of him, goes to ground though and taps the ball. Looking for King. King comes in with some courage, courtesy of Auto Pro at Golden Grove, the Courageous Player Award there. A nomination there from Clinton King as he dived over the ball in a 1-on-3 there contest there, but unable to win possession either side. And another restart in play sees Scholar tap the ball down, taken for Fleming by South Adelaide, but Tyson Hay takes a mark. Did it travel 15 metres? Yes it did, says the umpire, and Hay in with his relieving kick goes wide in the direction of Bellow, and just trying to slow things down now. I think Brenton Honour are the Central District side.
Yeah, I think so. They're just trying to like wrestle control of this game now. They've obviously got the control on the scoreboard. Like, you know, South Adelaide have had a spirited sort of 10 minutes here in the last 20 of the third quarter, but they don't look threatening enough, though, do they? They're just not. They haven't got enough good players that are winning the ball, and they just don't look dangerous enough up forward either.
Just chewing up time there, the Bulldogs, as further evidenced by Chris Gowans, a short kick to Symes, who does the same, a short lateral one to Simon Arnott. So just chewing up time. The Panthers would do well here, just to man up, every man take an opponent, so Central Districts aren't able to just chip the ball around. This time Arnott kicks to a contest, playing in front. Slade unable to mark. The ball at ground level heads over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in. 12.5 minutes in the final quarter. It's a 46-point lead to the visiting Bulldogs.
While the ball's being thrown in, I think we might go round the grounds again and see what's happening for National Wireless two-way radio. Ben Pittman at Unley.
23 minutes into the final quarter here, and the Eagles are up by 65 points. Woodville West Torrens 15 goals 12, 102, leading Sturt by 65 points, 5 goals 7, 37, about 24 minutes into the final quarter. Now we'll throw it down to Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
It's a 14-minute mark down here, and Waterhouse has been the difference so far. He's just kicked his sixth goal. But it's Port Adelaide 14-17, 101, leading Glenelg by 35 points. Glenelg 10-6, 66. Let's go down now to Peter at Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. It's Norwood by 38 points. It's Norwood 11-5, 71. Lead West Adelaide 4-9, 33, and that's at the 22-minute mark. Now it's back to Noarlunga.
And down here, the action on the half-forward line here for Central District. They lead at the moment by 46 points. And the umpire comes in and he's letting play go, actually, which is not a bad thing. There's a stack of players down there. It's like a rugby scrum. And this time is eventually going to come in and ball it up. There was no way known the ball was going to get out of there. The second time round, as we look down once again, the Colonnade Shopping Centre in the background, the trees are swaying in the considerable breeze, which is favouring the southern end, to which South is kicking, but they really haven't utilised it this afternoon at all. They've kicked 2 goals into the breeze, and just the 2 goals with this howling gale down here today. Down towards the half-forward line, Alwyn Davies got 3 players to beat. I don't think he's going to get there in time. Big Scholar leans over, picks up the ball, across the half-back line, hand passes on down to Tyson Hay. Lovely-looking kick, almost a good mark taken there by Steinberner. He's lost the ball, and through the ball, the umpire says, no, he's got the free kick, in fact. Hang on, I'm just trying to work out what's happened. It looks like it's a 25-metre penalty applied here against
the umpire paid the free, Doug, to Steinberner. Sean Daly, quite honestly or legitimately, thought the free was going to his teammate Matthew Smith and threw the ball back in the direction of Smith rather than Steinberner. The umpire has ruled that he did that on purpose, didn't give it back to the player correctly as he should have, and paid the 25-metre penalty. Looked like an honest mistake to me, Brendan.
Yeah, I think so, but yeah, it was a pretty obvious free kick in the first, instance. Out there.
Steinberner now. He's going to kick for goal. He'll probably kick from about 40 metres out, but he is kicking into the breeze, and it's still quite considerable. He's a pretty powerful sort of a kick when he gets onto him. That one is not a bad sort of a roost into that, Bruce, but it's off target and through for a minor score. 2 behinds this afternoon for Nathan Steinburner, the former Port Power player, and Central's move along to 11-11-77. Leading South Adelaide 4 goals, 6-30. We've played 15.5 minutes of the final quarter. I guess for South Brenton, it's a case of still attack, and give yourself some little bit of hope, even in these remaining minutes.
Yeah, that's right, Doug. And even like just for next week, they don't want to sort of finish, losing by 7 or 8 goals here after a disappointing loss last Sunday. They need to get back on track a little bit, and it's really important how they finish the game here today now.
Playing back here at home next week, the Panthers are against the Tigers here at Noarlunga Oval. As Centrals go inside 50 again, Gowans pumps them inside 50. Shell waiting from behind for a crumb that never came, but playing in front, and therefore winning the free kick for Central Districts was Heath Hopwood in an unfamiliar roll up forward. Has run forward a couple of times today though, got himself on the goal kickers list already and has an opportunity to kick a second goal. Not often in his 147 games, SANFL games, Heath Hopwood 148 today. He's kicked 29 goals, which is now 30. So not often he's kicked 2 in a game. Here he has a priceless chance to do so. In he comes Heath Hopwood, gets the distance, but doesn't quite get the accuracy. The noise from behind the goals is quiet, which is the Central District supporters suggesting it is a behind. 1 goal 1, Heath Hopwood and Central Districts, 11-12, 78, leading the Panthers by 48 points, who are on 4 goals, 6-30. We've played 17 minutes in the Crazy Johns match of the day last quarter.
John, as we go from Noarlunga now to the other grounds, first of all at Unley, let's go to Ben Pittman.
About 26 minutes into the final quarter here, and the Eagles have stretched it out to their largest margin of the game. It's at 77 points. The Eagles 18 goals, 12, 114. Leading Sturt 5 goals, 7-37. That can't be much more to the final sign. The Eagles leading by 77 points. Now throw it there to Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
Ben down here at Alberton is still Port by 35 points, 14-18, 102 to Glenelg, 10-7, 67. Let's now go to Peter Byrne at Richmond.
Thanks, Daniel. It's the 25-minute mark here. It's Norwood lead West by 37 points. Norwood 11-5, 71 to Westies 4-10, 34. Now it's back to the boys at Noarlunga.
South Adelaide have just kicked the goal. Ben Newbury has drilled that one. It bounced over the pack. He kicked from about 60 metres. It was a fairly good kick. The breeze carried it. It went over the pack, and it was just over the line before a lunging Central defender got his finger to it. South Adelaide's 5th goal for the afternoon. They still trail Central's by a hefty margin, though, of 42 points. Central's 11-12, 78. South Adelaide 5-6, 36. We've played 18 minutes of the final quarter. South Adelaide again trying to go forward. Newbury's on the bottom of the pack this time, trying to thump the ball out. Can't do so. And umpire Richard Williams will come in, and he will ball it up to get play underway once again. Grey clouds all around the ground. We've had grey clouds over us all day. We've had a bit of sunshine today, which I think would surprise some people at Adelaide, because you wondered how that cloud could get through. Oh, Michael Davis, clever football now. He's got the ball about 60 metres out from goal. Another lovely kick right up into the teeth of goal, and Benny Warren has taken the mark. In opposition there to Off to High. That's a contender for a Mr. Clip mark of the day. Not so much spectacular, but just the way he was able to body out his opponent and took a good mark and a chance to kick his first goal for the afternoon, and his it'll be his 40th, his 39th for the year. I'm just trying to...
Yeah, 38 at the start of the day, Dave.
38, so it'll be his 39th. It's hard to turn pages wearing gloves. In comes Warren. There's his kick for goal. I think he's off. Or has he got it through? I think he might have just snuck it through. Yes, he has. Benny Warren's first goal. Another one to South Adelaide. They moved to 6-6, 42. Central District, though, were in command. 11-12, 78. The Crazy Johns scoreboard. Let's go round the grounds once again for National Wireless two-way radio at Unley. Ben Pittman.
Full time here at Unley. It's just gone full time, and the Eagles have run out 77-point winners. The Eagles 17 goals, 12, 114 have defeated Sturt 5 goals, 7-37. Now throw it down to Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Down at Alberton, it's still Port, and they're 15-18, 108, leading Glenelg 10-8, 68. Let's cross back now to Richmond Oval with Peter Byrne.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. That 7-game winning streak for Westies has finally come to an end. Norwood have won this game quite comfortably, by 31 points, 11-5, 71 to Westies 5-10, 40. Now it's back to Noarlunga.
And down here, the action is another standstill, and we find that it is going to be another ball up on the centre of the ground. Central's 11-12, 78. leading South Adelaide 6-6-42. So the margin back to 36 points. 20 minutes have gone in the final quarter. South going with this very, very strong breeze. As the action now coming out towards the wing. Let's see who's going to lead in the race for it this time. There will be a free kick. No, there won't be. Play on, calls the umpire. Little Kenner's in there. And so is his opponent in Chris Gowans. It comes out to James Gowans now. A kick off the ground. Soccers it towards the half-forward line for Central District and out of bounds once again in front of some pretty courageous supporters out there because it's rather cold conditions. Comment from Brenton Otter.
I was just having a look at Stephen Kenner there. Like, he's had a fantastic year. He's been a great recruit for South, but I would have thought conditions like today, he would have revelled. He's just been so quiet, isn't he? Just haven't seen him.
He's a Queenslander, Brenton.
Yeah, not used to the wet. He's played a lot of footy in Melbourne, though. I would have thought, these types of conditions would have suited him.
Boundary throw in now. Jumping at that is young Taylor for Central Districts, unable to affect any possession, though, and Borden, and Taylor combining there, the youngsters for Centrals, and the ball goes back out of bounds again. We'll have another restart in play as we've moved over the 21-minute mark here in the final quarter now. Central Districts will win this game, that is certain. What is uncertain at this point in time is the final margin. 36 points it is at this juncture. As the boundary restart in play occurs again, a wad of about 3 or 4 players jumping over possession of the ball, no one able to affect any clean possession, almost like a rugby scrum in there at the moment, and we'll have another ball up, another stoppage just outside the 50-metre line of the 50-metre attacking zone for Central Districts, kicking towards the northern end of Noarlunga Oval into the breeze today as South Adelaide go forward now through the agency of Fleming. Lovely kick. Hits Tucky on the chest. This is positive play as he plays on immediately. Handballs to Newbury. Newbury kicks the ball for McGlone. It is, kicks the ball forward. Warren coming from behind, off to Hyde in front, picks up possession and manages to clear the ball outside of the 50-metre line, but it will come back from whence it came as South Adelaide again go in through. McGlone gets a kick forward to Marcy from behind. Coming in front is McKenzie. Takes the uncontested chest mark in the end, as a couple of players in Symes and Cochrane peel off for a short pass. He's going to go sideways to one of those in Cochrane. Cochrane has got Symes. If he wants him, he's got another player in McCabe in short and forward inside 50. Another one is Taylor, but he's also McKenzie edging out towards the boundary line. That's where the ball may end up. He's just wanting players to come over here so he can kick the ball to a contest. Umpire calls play on. He'll rush from behind here. Didn't have much choice, didn't have much to kick to. And with the lead at 36 points, some of the supporters getting excited, but in the end, is going to help the scoreboard by that solitary behind of the Panthers. Richie Cochrane not prepared in the end, Brenton Otter, to give up what may have been an easy option for South Adelaide had he kicked it. He had nothing to kick to.
No, maybe not, but it was a bit of a comedy, wasn't it? Like, he had enough players here to make a contest and force the ball out, and that's really all Centrals are after at the moment, just to, to hug the boundary line and maintain possession, and just to give away a point like that,
In the end, the restart picked up by Michael Hanby has a snap on goal, a shot on goal. It's coming back. It's a pretty good effort. The goal umpire says it's a very good effort. And South Adelaide turn it into the magical 7-point play as Michael Hanby kicks his opening goal for the day. Michael Hanby kicks his first. South Adelaide a 7-7-49. Central Districts 11-12-78. It's a 29-point margin. 23.5 minutes gone, Doug. I still don't think there's time for your Panthers.
No, I think you might be right there. The encouraging thing is that they were 60 points down at one stage, and now they've brought it back to that 29-point margin at this stage. And the way things are going, it'll probably be a little bit closer. But let's go around the grounds, and fellas, you can quickly do your goal kickers. We'll do this real quickly because I know you need to get home. For National Wireless two-way radio at Unley, Ben Pittman.
Full time here at Unley, and the Eagles have run out winners by 77 points. The Eagles 17 goals 12, 114. Defeated Sturt 5 goals 7, 37. I'll just give you the multiple goal scorers. For the Eagles, Passador and Knights had 3, and Watts and Cicolella had 2, and they only had one multiple goal scorer for the Double Blues, and that was Daniel Wicks had 2. So just repeating the scores, the Eagles have run out 77-point winners here, 17-12, 114 to 5 goals 7, 37. Now we'll throw it down to Daniel Beasy at Alberton.
Ben, well, it looks like down here it's pulled by 40 points. It looks like Glenelg aren't going to get a win here. It's been over nearly 12 years since they've had a win down here at Alberton. Looks to continue to be that way again. It's pointed by 40 points, 15-18, 108. Glenelg 10-8, 68. The goal scorers are Waterhouse with 6, Surgeon with 4, and Brown with 2 for Port, and singles to Wade, Slattery and Rockharry. And for Glenelg, Mitchell with 3, Doldig with 2, Schuvac 2, Bode, Backwell and Culper with 1 apiece. Just repeating those scores, it's Port Adelaide 15-18, 108 to Glenelg 10-8, 68. Let's now go down to Peter at Richmond.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. The 7-game winning streak of West over Norwood came to a conclusive end today with Norwood dominating this game right from the opening bounce, winning comfortably by 32 points. So the final score was 11-5, 71 to Norwood to 5-10, 40 for West Adelaide. Goal kickers for Norwood were 3 to Neil and 2 for Clements. Singles each to Massey, Patfull, Brown, Borlace, Gallagher and Blatko, while for West Adelaide, 2 to Wiggins, 1 to Drovasevic, 1 to Fisher and 1 to Bayliss. So repeating the scores, Norwood comfortable winners here by 32 points, 11-5, 71 to West Adelaide, 5-10, 40. Now it's back to Noarlunga.
Good on you, Peter. Thank you for that one, and well done to all fellas at the other grounds. Thank you so much for a job well done. 26 minutes of the quarter gone. We don't normally do it as we are still doing our broadcast, but it's so cold I thought we'd better get those fellas home. But the action at the moment is on the half-back line here for Centrals, and coming out of defence is Richard Cochrane. Good, strong defensive work once again, and the ball is out of bounds as he kicked it down towards the wing position, so midway between wing and half-back for Centrals. It's 28 points the margin now. Central District in front, 11-12, 78 over South Adelaide, 7-8, 50. It's the Crazy John scoreboard here at Noarlunga Oval, and a very, very warm-looking John Simons takes over the action.
The restart and play. Parry wins the tap down. Kicking it off the ground for South Adelaide is Chris Hall. Gains 20 metres for his side and gets the ball to the edge of the 50-metre arc, the attacking one for the home side, the Panthers. And we'll have another restart and play. It'll be Parry and McKenzie to go at it again. Arnott at the back of the pack, and Newbury nearby him, and some players standing at the front. Gowans, Hanby, King and Slade, to name a few of them. Chris Hall also at the feet of Craig Parry, waiting to get at this contest. In the end, McKenzie wins the tap down. South have the numbers there, overrun the ball and allow the Central players an opportunity. One of those sliding in is young Michael Taylor, but he's unable to get rid of the ball to any real effect, nor did he have an opportunity to do so. So the umpire says we'll have another ball up here as we approach the final siren. 27.5 minutes gone in the last quarter now. Parry diving over the ball, reins it in, but in these conditions, and the pack of players there won't get penalised for doing so. A little bit of late quarter niggle there. Chris Hall amongst that, and surprisingly enough, James Gowans for the Bulldogs, but in the end, nothing comes of that. And McKenzie again wins the tap down, rove by Clinton King for South Adelaide. The ball sent inside 50 and punched defensively by Central Districts over the boundary line, and we'll have another stoppage. And before we do that, we'll take another comment from former Glenelg coach Brenton Honor.
Yeah, I was just having a look at Craig Parry. Like, he's really competed well today. He's probably been a little bit much maligned. He hasn't, performed that well since he's been here. But I've been really happy with his game today, because whilst he hasn't been a dominant player, he's been aggressive, and he's just tried his heart out all day.
In the restart, Gowans to Gowans. We've called that before. James to Chris, tackled high by Michael Hanby, and the free kick will go to Chris as his brother James comes in and says, "Are you okay, mate? Don't treat my brother like that." And Michael Hanby says, "Okay, I won't, Doug."
Yeah, there was nothing in it, was there, really? And it was not, Michael Hanby showing, you don't have to go on with anything like that, and it was good stuff. As Brad Symes comes out of defence, I think I might have called Cochrane before, but it was actually young Symes coming out of defence there. He's got the long sleeve jumper on too, goes down towards the wing, and young Michael Taylor playing his first game. He's a left footer. He's a boy from Williamstown. He's fairly cold up there today too, I would think, as he kicks the ball in towards half forward. Comes off hands, will be taken away. No, Smith couldn't break his way clear. Umpire comes in and says, it's going to be mine. If it gets any darker down here, it'll be morning. As... the night had passed. That's what I'm trying to say. The action in towards centre half forward we find for South Adelaide. Big long kick now. Kick off the ground. Sivanala leads in the race for it here for Central District. He's kicked it toward the goal. A South Adelaide boy is going to kick it through. No, he won't. Sivanala eventually was able to soccer it through, or knock it through for a minor score. So on the Crazy John scoreboard, Central District 11-12, 78. Leading South Adelaide 7-9, 51.
That's a long way out to concede from, Brenton Honor.
He was about 40 metres out, and he's gone for home. he was lucky to get away with it at the end.
Tyson Hay now to the restart and play, bring the ball back in for the Dogs. A 27-point advantage they hold, as Doug Oakley said before. The restart now, kick to a contest, the outer side of the ground. Arnott likely to win possession here. Hemmed up against the boundary line, keeps the ball in and then kicks it for about 30 metres for his side to the advantage of Marco Bello, who jogs onto this one, takes the mark and slows right down and says, let's just chew up a bit more time here now, fellas, and wait for that final siren to go. Not the premature one, which went earlier in the third quarter, but we'll wait for the final one now as Bello assesses his options. Going to go down the boundary line, unsurprisingly, to a contest. South Adelaide and Central players there. There's Central's players looking to get the ball over the boundary line. Mackenzie is able to do so. Not only is it dark out there, Doug, but it's a very, very long way away, that outer side of the ground.
It is a very, very long way. John, please, let me take over.
Couldn't do it to you. Couldn't do it to you. We'll have that restart in play. Parry and Mackenzie to go at it again. A lot of players around this contest. The signal from both sides almost that the contest is eventually over. Just trying to hem it in. And there is that siren that we alluded to just a moment or so ago. And the game is all over. It's in the book as a victory to Central Districts. They have righted the wrong from earlier in the year here at Noarlunga Oval and run out 27-point winners to the tune of 11-12, 78 Central Districts. South Adelaide, 7 goals, 9-51. Doug Oakley with the goal kickers.
Goal kickers first of all for Central District, Simon Arnott, Paul Scholar and Daniel Shell, 2 apiece. Then we had singles to Kane Officer, Chris Gowans, James Gowans, also Heath Hopwood and Daniel Heary. And for South Adelaide, their goals came from Brent Tuckey, who kicked 2. Singles to Ben Newbury, Ben Warren, Chris Hall, Michael Hanby and Alwyn.